Hello, everybody. Welcome to this incredible masterclass. A little bit different to the masterclasses that I normally do. And this one is all about the Success Saboteur Archetypes, your $1 million business in a box. Let me know who's joining me live. I know lots of you will be watching this on replay as well. And I'm so excited for this masterclass and equally terrified all at the same time because this masterclass and what I have to share with you is incredibly special to me. It's been a big part of my life, a big part of my identity. I'm getting a little bit emotional now already. And when I was putting the masterclass together for you, I was just remembering all of the things that have happened to me in my life, all the good things, all of the incredible impact, the results that clients have had through this work. And just it has so much meaning to me. So much love and time and energy has been put into what I'm going to share with you today. And I'm really excited to share this with you. It's a big moment for me. I'm wearing a very special dress. This dress has never even been worn to any other occasion other than this masterclass. Let's dive in because I've got lots to go through with you, and hopefully it's going to blow you away as much as it's blown me away, and it's going to change your life as much as it has changed mine and the many, many women that I have helped and healed and supported along the journey of these last 8 years. Louise, welcome Louise, hope you're well. We've got Shilpa on as well. Welcome, Shilpa. Hope you're well too. Denise, you're live. Welcome. Emma Jane, yeah, so excited, Natasha. I feel myself expanding into this work already. So grateful for this opportunity to carry this work on your behalf. Oh, thank you. Loving the dress. Thank you. Sonka, welcome. Hope you're well, lovely. Okay, let me share my screen with you because we've got lots and lots to go through. And let's dive in. Okay. Hopefully everyone can see that. I'll keep an eye on the chat, see if there's any questions as we're going through, of course, and there will be opportunity to ask questions at the end as well. Okay. So you might want to grab a notebook and a pen if you're someone who likes to take notes. That's how I learn and remember things. And let's dive in to this masterclass, Success Saboteur Archetypes, your $1 million business in a box. Okay, so let me ask you then, who here wants to be known as a leader in rapid transformation with tangible results, especially in a huge niche, helping other people up level and create higher levels of success? Let me know in the comments. Who has felt this desire to create courses to scale your business above and beyond one-to-one work, but maybe you haven't been able to create that yet for whatever reason as quickly as you thought you would? Life, children, caring responsibilities, whatever reason, time, you haven't been able to create that yet. And who here would love to run a 6 or 7 figure empire that helps other women up level and rise together, and to do that through standing on the shoulders of someone who's already done a lot of the hard work for you? Yeah, I do. Yes. Yes, scaling, definitely a big part for me. More impact. Yes, definitely. Denise, yeah. If that is you, you are definitely in the right place. This is what we're going to be covering in this masterclass today. So some of you already know me very well. Some of you might be a little bit more new to my world. So I came across this picture actually, October the 11th, 2019. That's me and my eldest son, Jensen. He was only a couple of years old at the time. And at that time in my business, I was trapped in one-to-one work, working 12-hour days, sometimes of back-to-back healing sessions, and they were like 2.5 hours long. I don't even know how I did that now. I think it would kill me if I tried to do that today. And yes, I did have my first 6-figure year the year before, but I was exhausted. I was sacrificing myself, I was sacrificing my health. And every time I tried to scale or grow, my potential felt capped. I was in a very heavily one-to-one business model. Does anybody here resonate with that? Are you mostly doing one-to-one right now? And I created my first group course. And it was a signature program, is a different program to the one that people know me for today. It was called the Success Accelerator. It was 4 months long. And do you know what happened that month? That very month that you see me there, I had my first 35K launch of a group program. 35K. That was my same wage as when I was a social worker for the whole year. And I made it in one launch. And this absolutely blew my mind. It completely changed the whole trajectory of my life, my business, the impact I was able to have as a mother of a young child, creating a different way to impact, influence, and create massive amounts of income. And I love one-to-one, don't get me wrong, and I will always do one-to-one. It's very important for me to keep innovating and evolving my one-to-one skills. But if you're like me, I had this dream, this passion, this knowing that I was meant to make a huge impact in the world. I was meant to impact and make millions. But I didn't really know quite how at those earlier stages of my journey. And then by the end of that year, I did have a $500,000 year, right? And the problem was I really had sacrificed, hustled, done all of the things. Like when I think back and look at the wrong way to create success, there was a lot of that happening. And I've been so focused on creating financial success, financial security, which is very important, especially if you've ever been a single mother, you know how important that is, that I sacrificed everything else to create it. And I had left my career to have more time with my child, to work on my health and make sure that I was healthy emotionally and physically. And it kind of like went against everything that I left my job for. And I remember every time I had another big month, I'd be arguing with my partner, Blake, some of you know. And I realized I was sabotaging myself. And at the start of 2020, so that was 2019, at the start of 2020, the very first month, I said to myself, Natasha, this is the year that you're going to have it all. Literally that same day, Jensen dived on me when I wasn't looking. This is the thing about kids. They jump around a lot. He dived on me when I wasn't looking and headbutt my nose and broke my nose. Man, it was awful. It was the first night of our holiday as well. That holiday that I had saved for, out of that money from the launch, the holiday that I'd aimed for, his first ever holiday. And I realized, though, that this was a wake-up call. This was a sign, Natasha, you're going in the wrong direction. This is not how you're meant to be an example of success in the world, right? So that was around the time I'd started dreaming about what I call, and many of you know, the Success Saboteur Archetypes. I was being guided very much to release those in the world, and I was scared. Right? Sometimes the biggest things you're ever going to do, the biggest moves you're ever going to make in business scare you. Actually, it is the biggest ones that scare you. I've been doing this a long time, I know. And I realized, I've been focusing so much on the financial up level. I then sort of coined this concept. Again, you will know me for this, is the ultimate up level. Well, what is the antidote to this? Why have I only done this? Not intentionally, it just turned out that that's what happened. And so I coined this term the ultimate up level, where we up level emotionally, financially, and spiritually for true success and freedom. Because I was very much being driven by my wounds in that point in my journey. And so I was having these dreams about the saboteur archetypes. I was, this concept was forming in my head about the ultimate up level. And I realized that I needed to heal my own saboteurs to really bring this out into the world. And I did. When I did eventually get over the fear, heal my saboteurs, that year, 2020, my $1 million business was born. And it was all about unlocking the ultimate up level for true success, financially, emotionally, and spiritually, and healing your 5 success saboteur archetypes. It was actually 4 originally, it evolved into 5. 5 success saboteur archetypes that would help you to do that through this powerful signature program called the Ultimate Up Level Academy. And back in 2018, I was actually one of the first to really innovate deep, deep healing work for business success. And 2020, I really up-leveled everything that I was doing to create this body of work. And this really was my $1 million business. This was my $1 million year, my first $1 million year in my business. And this program, the Ultimate Up Level Academy, is a 7-month program. Again, it used to be 6, but we added another saboteur, so it's now 7. It is one of the most powerful programs to unlock not just business success, but whole life success that you will ever come across. It's very well known, very well established in the field. When I released the saboteur assessment, the archetype assessment, I only put that out there. I spent 6 months developing it and put it out there, really anxious, nervous, excited. Well, how are people going to respond to this? And honestly, my audience went wild. I didn't even have a program for people to go into, and everyone was like, what's next? I want the next steps. They resonated so deeply with these success saboteur archetypes that they were literally begging me for a program. So I put together the Ultimate Up Level Academy, launched it. It was my first ever 6-figure launch. It was a much lower price when it first launched compared to what it is now. It was £1,800 for that first launch. The results were insane. 50 women joined that first program. And not just the results that it got for me, but the results for clients. It was helping to change their marriages, helping to heal their hearts, helping to heal their children from the healing they were doing themselves in the program. People having their best financial months ever in business, their highest sales coming in, best financial years. We've had 6-figure years, 6-figure launches, 6-figure months even. And it really went wild. And the power in this program is truly, truly limitless. What happened for me since, it's like a fairy tale. That's the only way I can describe it. And the reason I put all these screenshots on here is because if you're new to my world, you might just, maybe you might not believe me, right? It's unbelievable success that I've created through this journey. I am now married to my soulmate, moved into my dream $1 million home here in Wales, in the UK, actually, where I grew up. I have featured in a movie with The Secret's Joe Vitale, his movie. I've written books. The books have been bestsellers. I've won awards, endless amounts of awards. I've had another baby along the way. I've built another business as well, a healing school, the School of Healing Mastery, where I teach my heart healing certification. And this is the magical bit, right? My work has organically reached. Organically, that means no Facebook advertising or marketing spend. My work has organically reached and impacted women in 106 countries across the world. I had no background in business. I used to be a social worker before I went full-time into what I do. No background in business. I live in a tiny, small town in Bridgend. It's called Bridgend in South Wales in the UK. And I have somehow managed to create a level of success that is unbelievable for someone with a small audience and no paid marketing, right? 106 countries in the world. I've now reached, that's over half of the world with this work. And I have just recently crossed $10 million organically received and created through the whole history of my business. Not in 1 year, but it was still a massive achievement. $10 million. I came from a really poor background. I was severely abused throughout my childhood. I was bullied for all of the reasons people can bully you for. I never thought that this, what I've created in my life today, would ever, ever, ever be possible for me. It doesn't make logical sense. And this journey of healing myself, healing my heart, healing my saboteurs has been key. This is why I'm so passionate about others going through this journey, but also that this doesn't end with me and gets out there to a lot more people. Now, you might be thinking, well, what are we doing here, Natasha? Why are you not carrying on this work? And I have asked myself that question a lot of times, right? But the truth is, I created a new body of work last year. And we're always evolving in our businesses. You know, one of my first ever business was actually a health food business. Then it evolved into business success work. Then it evolved more into the ultimate up level, making sure you're up leveling everything, not just your business, right? Now it's evolving again, just because I am not the same person I was in 2020 when I created this. And my business, every single element of my business, every course I create, every offer I create, every move I make that makes no logical sense, right, is always guided by the universe. And I, for 3 years, have been told I need to release this to other people to use and to sell. And I wasn't ready. I had to work through all of the stuff that was making me think, no, this is mine. I want to keep it. It's so good. This is my thing, right? And I had to work through all of them to finally get to a place, and again, very, very spiritually guided. I think it was just over a month ago where I was told, now is the time. Now is the time. You have to release this. So this is why I have a new body of work that I am being told I need to move into now, that I did release last year, and I couldn't run both side by side. And this webinar will explain to you why that is the case, right? It'll explain to you why, if you want a 7-figure business, you can't have 2 bodies of work that are essentially conflicting with each other. Because, again, I don't want to tell you too much yet, the way that you create that magic and that level of success is having one main body of work. And so I couldn't run both. I couldn't effectively operate what I was trying to do and create what I was trying to do with both bodies of work. I did try, but it just didn't feel right. And so I stopped my new body of work and I just went back to selling this, because this is so good that it just cannot not exist in the world. And by the way, I had a $250,000 launch with that other work. It's needed, it's wanted. I didn't go back to this because it wasn't successful. I went back to this because my heart was too attached to this. I know how much people need this in the world. And then I received this guidance that, Natasha, the only way that you're going to let go is if you give it to other people. Not just give, but sell, of course, right? Sell it to 111 women to carry on this legacy, to create massive change in their lives, but also for the people that they're going to reach with this, that I might never have been able to reach at all. Different languages, different niches, right? So that's why I listen when it makes no logical sense. But there's been a long journey of coming to this point, to let go of this. I've got my heart healing certification, my healing school. I've got 2 businesses that I run, and I have a new body of work that is probably a lot more spiritual. This is like spiritually awakened work, definitely, the Ultimate Up-Level Academy and the Saboteurs work. But my next body of work is me stepping up a lot more into spiritual teacher. And it's just a bit more spiritual than this work. So that's really what this masterclass is about. It's really actually showing you and teaching at the same time what you need to create a 6- and 7-figure business, but also, if you want to build on what I've already created and run with that and take and tweak and use it to create success with something that's already proven, then equally, I'd love you to be one of the 111 women who are going to continue this legacy, not just for me, but for them and for all the people that need this work. And so I was then able to find peace with letting go, peace with stopping this, only in the knowing that other women are going to be continuing this important work in the world. So through this masterclass, I'm going to share with you the 5 M's is actually the 5 M's of $1 million business. It was, sorry, there's 6 now, because when I was writing the masterclass, I left an obvious one out, so I added in the 6. Yeah, look, the movie, oh, thank you, Sanka. Yeah, I can imagine that was hard letting go. Yeah, but you get forced into it, don't you? So interestingly, just for those of you who don't know, I got another broken nose recently by my second child, who was also 3. So there's like 5 years between them. And when they were both 3 years old, they broke my nose. And I knew it wasn't a coincidence. Again, it's because I was kind of scared to really step into this much more spiritual body of work that I was creating. Even though I did put it out into the world, it felt safer to go back to my saboteur's work, right? Which is so universal, so like anyone in the world will like this work, will benefit from this work, and will sign up for this work. It is mainstream, okay? And that also makes it $1 million program. But I went back to what I felt safe with, what I'd always known. And that broken nose that I got again this year was really, again, it's like taking me back, Natasha, you know you're meant to go in this path, but you're not doing it, right? So it's that again, that wake-up call, you're going in the wrong direction. So we're going to look at the 6 M's of $1 million business that are essential to scaling your income, impact, and influence. And the 5 success saboteur archetypes that get in the way. We're going to look at the behind the scenes of the success saboteur archetypes done for you, proven multi-million-dollar ecosystem and how it has been so successful. And I'm going to give you some ideas then on how you can actually apply it in your own business for success, freedom, wealth, and impact beyond your wildest dreams for you and for your clients. And then there'll be time at the end for Q&A if you want to ask any questions about investing in this once-in-a-lifetime, done-for-you $1 million business in a box. And there will only ever be 111. That was the spiritual guidance that came through very strongly, very clearly. And you're really going to be shocked, actually, I think, when I show you how easy it is to create a 6 or 7-figure business when you have the right assets in your business, when you have everything that the $1 million in a box has. This work means a lot to me. Years and years and years, hours, thousands of hours of time has gone into its development, its creation, and pure love, right? Pure love. I have created some of these things whilst pregnant and birthing my babies into the world. So much love and healing and passion has gone into this work. And it needs, also, how do I explain this? Some of the more spiritual people here will understand that certain things have their own soul, right? The Success Saboteur Archetypes and the Ultimate Uplevel Academy have their own unique soul, right? It's its own thing, and it needs someone who wants to co-create with it in the world. And so that's what I want to do. I want to pass this on to someone who's going to do it justice, because I can't give it all of my attention for this next phase of my journey, and it deserves someone who can. It deserves 111 women who can. So what makes this opportunity unique? Well, it's a proven body of work that has been established over many, many years and many iterations, and it unlocks rapid success results that have reached millions and made millions for both me and my clients. Over 20 years of expertise has gone into this. I have a long education in psychology, criminology, an innovator in healing, social work masters as well. I'm an innovator in everything I do, whether that was when I worked in homelessness services and addiction studies, whether I even in my psychology degree, my research was being published, things like that. So I've always been an innovator. I've always been able to spot gaps and fill those gaps with something that is powerful and needed. And so I'm an innovator in healing. I'm an innovator in business success, archetypal transformation, and really combining that with my intuitive gifts as a channel. It is a whole business ecosystem. So you can take and tweak what is given to you. You can white label the courses, call them something else. You can tailor them to different niches, right? Or you can build off the already established global recognized brand. It's really up to you what you decide to do there. And there's no ongoing fees, right? It's a one-off payment and it will be yours, lifetime use, forever. I say it, all of it. And we'll go through all of it throughout this masterclass as well. Only 111 will ever be sold. And as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't just change businesses. It changes lives, it changes relationships, and it changes families. And I've got to, I have many, many favorite case studies and results and testimonials. But I'll always remember this one because it was from the first round. And it's so, so deeply the work in the Ultimate Up Level Academy, Tracy healing her Success Saboteur Archetypes, changed her children's lives so much that I have remembered this forever. And remembered how deeply, deeply touched I was, because my mission, my vision is a safer world with more love and money for all women and children. And so I help children through helping their mothers heal and become more successful and more able to receive and give love and create this abundant life for their children. And this was the first testimonial that came through that really spoke about the impact of the children in that first ever round. But Tracy was on the verge of quitting her business. This is the kind of impact you can get delivering this to other people. She was about to give up on her business and find a job. It just wasn't working out. And through doing the work, healing her saboteurs, she was able to have her first ever 5-figure months. Afterwards, she grew to multi 5-figure months as well. And raised her prices dramatically, really channeled a $1 million business idea. And her children, as she says in the quote there, my children, the happiest they have been in years. It completely changed their life because she changed. Right? So her business skyrocketed. She healed so much from so many things, and her children naturally healed as a side effect of that. And they've had so many more opportunities and so much more abundance in their life. So let's look at then, first of all, the 6 M's. Sorry, I forgot to change the slide. 6 M's of $1 million business that are essential to scaling your income, impact, and influence, and how the 5 success saboteurs really get in the way of that. Emma Jane says, I was literally speaking with Tracy about her experience with the UUA the other day. She absolutely sings its praises. As you say, changed her life entirely and her kids. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love seeing all the amazing things Tracy's doing now as well. She's really, yes, she actually unlocked intuitive gifts, unlocked a slight pivot where she started doing healing and intuitive work also alongside her jewelry business, creating priestess jewelry. It really was amazing. And Tracy's story is not unique. There are many, many, many stories like that, but I'll always remember the significance of it because it was the first one. Okay. So the 6th one is on the next slide, but let's look at the first 5. $1 million mindset, right? So this is embodying the mindset of the 7-figure leader who has the Midas touch. Now, the Midas touch is knowing that you will turn anything you touch into gold. And I am someone who has the Midas touch. I know this now, and I activate that Midas touch in other people. And really, you decide, right? The first step to creating $1 million business, if this is what you want to create for yourself, regardless of whether you buy my $1 million in a box or not, right? Is deciding that that is what you want for yourself. Even though you might not know the how right now, just deciding with absolute certainty that you are going to have a $1 million business and you are going to become the woman and the leader that can hold that, that can have that, right? When I was really young, I wasn't going to tell this story, but it's coming into my mind and I'm just going to go with my intuition. When I was really young, like I came from a very poor background, right? My family lived on £1,000 a month. And so the kind of money that I made today was like so unreal to what we lived on and what we had when I was younger. When I was about 15, I read this article in a magazine, right? And it was about becoming a millionaire by the time you were 35. And I just had this knowing. I made a decision and I was thinking, it doesn't feel logical, right? There's nothing that says based on what, I've grown up around, what I've experienced, that's going to be me. But I just had this knowing that's going to be me. I don't know how or why or where it came from. And I just knew. I am also psychic, right? But because I knew, because I was so certain that even though it made no logical sense that it was going to happen for me, I was actually a cash millionaire by 33, 2 years earlier. So I was indeed a cash millionaire by 35. And that happened very, very fast. There was no logical. I was a social worker at age 30. By 33, I'm a cash millionaire. It literally does not make sense, right? But I decided when I was younger, I decided that is going to happen for me. That will happen for me. And it did. I know that's a really random example, but I was guided to share that example with you. Teresa, yeah, I've seen changes in my children as well, although I'm just in my 4th week of the UUA. Yeah, results really happen quite fast. Emma Jane, I've had the Midas touch before, then I set it aside to learn what struggle was. Yeah, absolutely. Now it's time to return to flow and reclaim the Midas touch. Oh, I love that. Goosebumps. Reclaim the Midas touch. And it's the decision piece. The decision piece is huge if you want to create or manifest anything, whether that's in life, in love, or in business. And my clients who have decided, I am going to make 7 figures, I am going to be your next 7-figure client, Natasha, they're the ones who collapse time on it quicker because they have decided with absolute certainty that they will make it happen. Then there's the $1 million magnetism, because $1 million mindset alone is not enough, right? You have to create the $1 million magnetism. So that magnetism does not come from the mind. It does not just come from a decision. It comes from your heart and how open and how healed your heart is, because your heart is actually the most magnetic, energetically magnetic part of your body. This is science, by the way, it's not woo. Your heart is thought to be thousands of times more magnetic in terms of the energetic frequency that it puts off compared to the brain. Also, your heart tells the brain what to do, not the other way around. Research has found that now. So your $1 million magnetism, I truly believe, comes from your heart. The more I healed my heart, the more I healed the wounds that were affecting my heart and affecting my mindset, the more magnetic I became, the more authentic I became. And that was what drew people to wanting to work with me. Then we have the $1 million movement. Okay, so this is not just about selling products and offers, and this is not just about you making money. Nobody will get behind someone who just wants to make money for themselves, right? It's creating a $1 million movement that comes from your heart and soul, that is really impact-led and service-led for the transformation you want to create in the world. Then we have the $1 million method, a powerful method that people understand and resonate with deeply and want. They deeply desire this for themselves. And the method needs to feel like the missing piece. It needs to feel like it's the missing piece that they've been searching for, the reason why nothing else has ever worked before. And just let me know in the comments if you feel, or which of these you feel you already have in your business. The next one is $1 million model. Okay, so this is a business model that actually allows you to scale and hold 7 figures in clients and income without burning yourself out or killing yourself off. And lots of people don't actually have that, especially if you're stuck in heavily one-to-one work. It's quite hard. I do have clients, I will be honest with you, I had clients who've had $1 million businesses just from one-to-one, but they charge 6 figures a package to create that. So most people don't charge that high ticket. And so the way we create $1 million businesses is through bringing your one-to-one work down to about 10% to 20% of your overall revenue. And then 80% of your revenue is scalable programs that you can impact more people and, of course, receive more income. Now we have number 6, which is so obvious that I just left it off and added it in afterwards. It's the $1 million offer, right? $1 million offers. I have now created $3 million bodies of work in my businesses, across my different businesses. I know a thing or two about creating $1 million offers. And $1 million offers are offers that have the potential to make millions and impact millions. That's the most basic description of a $1 million offer. And these work best, right, when they are OFEOs. I'm going to give you some acronyms here. What I mean is your signature program should be and should have the potential to make and impact millions. Because if you're not creating the containers for it, you're not actually available to receive it, right? So $1 million offers, they are OFEO offers, one thing for everyone. That means they will work for everyone in your audience. And this is your signature offer. This is the most desirable thing, the most desirable offer you have that offers the complete transformation, that allows you to reduce your one-to-one work and allows you to scale your business. Now, something really interesting about the Ultimate Uplevel Academy, the Success Saboteur Archetypes work, it is more powerful than one-to-one work. People say this all of the time. So I actually have a gift of creating transformational programs that are more powerful than one-to-one work people will have had elsewhere. Because it's so powerful, so like I see creating courses as artwork. I see it as art, not just, slap bang, chuck something together. I'm not saying that everybody does that. I take a lot of time and energy and love went into creating the Ultimate Uplevel Academy. And it's just a gift. It's just a gift that I have. And I know not everyone has this time or this gift. And I actually really believe a big part of my purpose and my desire to impact millions is actually creating things that other people can use to impact millions, because that spreads my ripple effect out even further. And that's really what I believe this is, this business in a box. It's so much that somebody else can take and create magic with. And so I've got a tiny audience. I've got 3,000 people on my email list. Across my social medias, you probably see no more than 5,000 people on any social media platform. A lot of those will be duplicates, right? There'll be people who are on every platform. And so logically, I should not have a business that has made $10 million with such a tiny audience. All right, and I consistently have 7 and multi-7-figure years since 2020. It does not make sense. Most people that you know or business owners that you see online who have 7-figure, multi-7-figure a year businesses, they have hundreds of thousands of people on their email lists. Hundreds of thousands of people in their audience. And the way this OFEO, always remember that, one thing for everyone. The OFEO is how you create a business that can make you millions with a tiny audience. Your signature offer will work for anyone. anyone in your target group, or your ideal client, right? So my OFEO is the Ultimate Up-Level Academy, and it will help any businesswoman. It doesn't matter what level of success they are at. It will help them grow from wherever and up level from wherever they are now to whatever their next level is. It's one journey for everyone, and it works for everyone. Okay, Emma Jane, I have the first three for sure in my heart. The method and the model are the pieces I've been desiring. This gives me a green light to truly step up without burning out. Yeah. Method and model is what I'm still lacking too. Emma Jane, I was skeptical about group work at first, but found it was more than just one-to-one. And alchemy kind of happens. Yeah, there's lots of components to it. Yeah, holding the space the way that you do. So, yeah, I'm a mum of two young children, and I absolutely love what I do. I don't want to only be a mum as much as I love my children. I absolutely love them to bits. But I would probably not be fulfilled if that was all I was doing, right? Because I have this deep, deep drive to change and impact the world through healing others. So this allows me to do both. Shifting my business model that used to be 90% one-to-one and about 10% dabbling in little courses and masterclasses, shifted very much to more like 80 to 90% courses, 10 to 20% one-to-one, which gave me more freedom to be the mum and the partner and just the woman that I want to be as much as everything else. So the $1 Million Business in a Box, it already has it all there for you, right? It's done it all for you. The $1 Million Mindset and the $1 Million Magnetism will come through healing your own Success Saboteur Archetypes, right? Unlocking the financial, spiritual, and emotional up levels that are hiding behind them for you so that you can be the leader that you're destined to be. Doing the work will really break down the walls around your heart, help you heal your heart so that your true authentic self, your true magnetism can be felt. That's your $1 Million Magnetism. $1 Million Magnetism is essentially the more authentic you are, the more magnetic you are. And that comes from our own healing journeys. I've just got, some examples really of dotted throughout as we go through the masterclass, the results people are getting with this work. Stepping into seven-figure businesswoman identity, had my first 18K sales week. Just knowing I'm already here and I'm worthy of it changed everything. 18K sales in a week. And actually, when we talked about it on an interview, because his story is on my YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure it was in 3 days. And it wasn't just the money that started flying in out of nowhere, it was also men. So she had like loads of men all of a sudden wanting to date her, and she ended up meeting her soulmate as well, right? This work impacts everything, not just business, because it changes the person. Then we've got the $1 Million Movement, right? So the $1 Million Movement is a success revolution. This work is a revolution, a success revolution for women. More success for more women everywhere so that we create a new legacy of success and freedom, true success and freedom for our next generations, one from a place of healing instead of the wounded hustle. And this ultimate up level, this concept is a revolution in itself. It's up leveling emotionally, financially, and spiritually for true success and freedom. That is the movement. We've got the $1 Million Method. This is success imprinting, the 5 dimensions of healing that I use to create courses that heal the saboteurs. All these levels of healing are coming into play in every module of every course. And again, how you show people that this is the thing that's missing, well, they might have done some mindset work. They might have done some shamanic healing. Maybe they've done some healing of their childhood trauma. That's the heart work, right? But they're still not seeing the success and the up levels they want. Why is that? because they haven't worked on all these 5 dimensions at once. And when you work on these 5 dimensions all at once, the power of each is amplified. And that's why so many people, like literally people who've done money mindset work for years, and not to, dismiss that kind of work, is very important, but they've been in money mindset programs for years. They come into the Ultimate Up Level Academy and they've been plateaued for years as well. And within a month, they're having their best ever month. It's because we work on all of these levels at once. It's not even like an order. They're all kind of operating at once and amplifying each other. So this is the method that's underpinned all of my work. The reason I believe people say this is more powerful than anything I've ever done, even one-to-one. And I would say it's actually quite hard. You could not deliver everything that's in the Ultimate Up Level Academy in a one-to-one package with somebody. They'd have to pay you like £200,000 for the level of time to individually go through everything compared to the impact of a group program. So mind healing, where we're transforming your beliefs that are underpinning the Success Saboteur Archetypes on a conscious and subconscious level, and opening up to the access to the superconscious too. Heart healing, where we release buried emotions and heal key life relationships that might be at the root of the saboteurs, to dramatically expand your capacity to receive. Lots of people don't have money blocks. They have wounds that are blocking them from actually receiving, right? And the UUA, which is the Ultimate Up Level Academy for short, the UUA helps heal all that. Soul healing. So we're integrating parts of the soul that fragment off when we experience trauma or wounding. And that might look like inner child work. I use some different techniques that are all integrated into the Ultimate Up Level Academy. And that helps us to feel whole again. I have literally had people do one module of the Ultimate Up Level Academy and say, I feel whole for the first time in my life, right? It's that powerful. Energy healing. So we're working with and unblocking the chakra system as well as we're going through, and really working to balance the feminine and masculine energies. Most women in business are heavily in their masculine energy. And this is not just about feminine is good and masculine is bad. The balance of both is what you need to create $1 million success. And so the work in the Ultimate Up Level Academy very much is all naturally balancing those two energies and healing those two energies as you're going through. Because the more balanced those two energies are, the more naturally successful you will be. And that increases your magnetism, it increases your capacity to receive and hold more. And then we have action healing, right? Because there is no success without action. And so it's aligned action taken with simple soul-led strategies that bring your vision of success into fast reality, doing things your way. And people love this. And the reason you're also getting this, my proprietary method, the Success Imprinting, again, this is globally recognized. It is the method we use to heal the saboteurs. It's the method that underpins the programs. And you will need this to put into your launch workshops, or when you're doing a talk and you're explaining the power of your work. Okay, it's very important. It's part of creating $1 million business. You need it. And people love it. They find it really memorable. They understand that might be why things haven't been working. And they're very much open to wanting to work on all of these dimensions. Then we have the $1 million model. So the $1 million model, we've got your free lead magnets. I don't really like to call them lead magnets, but in business terms, that's what they're called, okay? So we've got your free lead magnets. Then we've got paid lead magnets, and they are essentially, but the ones that I have are low-priced, high-value masterclasses. They're not meant to be free. If anything, they're really meant to cost more like £400 or £500. But you intentionally price them much lower to get people to experience your magic, to get people into your world. Mine are more like mini courses in one masterclass. People learn more, that people have said they've learned more in there than like a university course. So They are intentionally low priced, but incredibly high value. Then you have niche courses, right? So niche courses are around the 555 price point. That would be the lowest, up to 1111. And, I have actually put niche courses up to 1333 as well. I like my spiritual pricing. So early bird for my courses, there are niche courses tend to be 1111, and the full price tends to be 1333. Okay, and then you have your signature academy. So that is usually priced anywhere between 1,800 to 3,333. That's how I've priced, but I know other people who will charge more like 10 grand for a signature academy, right? So it really depends where you are in your pricing journey, but also the audience that you serve. And, I have other higher priced, higher ticket offers. So I feel that I can keep my academy at that price. But that is how I've built a multi-7-figure business, multi-7-figure a year, which is now collectively made 8 figures. So your free lead magnets, they are audience builders and launch assets. Okay, so launch experiences or webinars. Paid lead magnets are the high value, low cost masterclasses that make people so blown away that they want to work with you more. Niche courses are, you would just focus on one key transformation. So that would be, for example, one of the courses that make up the academy. The Imposter Saboteur course is intuition and innovation. So it would be considered a niche course. But if you want the full transformation of all 5 success saboteurs, you get the academy. And then overall, the academy is a much more, it's like a lower price than if you were to buy all of those different things individually, to encourage people to go on that full transformation journey with you. Okay, let me know if this is making sense. So my signature academy is made up of the paid lead magnets, the paid masterclasses, and the niche courses. That's what makes up the academy. But it gives you a whole suite of services to work with and to sell individually or as a complete bundle in the Ultimate Uplevel Academy, the whole transformation. Your $1 million offer. Kind of explained that a little bit there. We've talked about this. My version, and the version that I'm going to take you through today, is the Ultimate Uplevel Academy. This is my $1 million offer. It's actually generated multi-millions throughout the lifetime of my business. And it's that OFEO. It's one thing for everyone. I actually also like to call it my queen asset, right? It is the number one asset in my business that doesn't necessarily rely entirely on me being able to do one-to-one work. I actually deliver all of the group calls in my academy. I know that some business owners, as they grow, they tend to outsource that to other people, but I like to be the one to support people and do the group calls in my academy. But I pre-record all of the main content so that people can go through that in their own time. And you're only creating that once. It's had a few upgrades and things as well over time, but you do that bit of work once. It's there for people to work through in their own time, and then you just do the live elements, which is the group calls. And that allows you to serve. If I only wanted to sell the Ultimate Uplevel Academy, I could have 300 people in there for 2-hour calls, 2 1-hour calls per month. That would be £1 million for 2 hours of calls a month. How insane is that? Selling it at 3,333. So it's the one thing for everyone. I have women that come in and they've just started their business, or they're earlier stages of their business that get results. And equally, we have women who are coming in and they're already at 6 or high multi-6 figures, and they grow to 7 figures through that journey. So this is your queen asset. Whatever your signature program is your queen asset. It is the one that is most scalable. the OFEO that can impact and make millions if you wanted to scale it to that level. I've just got some examples of results here so you can see actually how powerful this work is. We must have like 150 documents full of results from the Ultimate Up-Level Academy. But people are always having their biggest months ever, their best launches ever, tripling their income. People in jobs are like receiving multi-five-figure bonuses out of the blue. But not just the money side. Remember, financial is just one part of it. It's the fact that they've fallen in love with their partners again when they were on the verge of divorce, attracted soulmates, feel closer, more connected to their children, healed their trauma and relationships with their parents, all sorts of things. And then we have the spiritual side, spirituality at its most basic form is becoming your authentic self. Becoming your authentic self, who you are underneath those wounds, underneath those saboteurs. That's the version of you that is most magnetic to other people, right? And then there is a little bit more, the more woo spiritual stuff for those who that is the next part of their journey. People have unlocked intuitive gifts, spiritual healing gifts. They've started channeling, and that has skyrocketed their businesses, of course. And everyone always says it's the spiritual bit that they weren't expecting that most change things for them. And I would say it's mainstream spiritual, right? My work has become a lot more spiritual over the years, but the Academy is mainstream spiritual. And if you're someone who's not very spiritual, you could remove some of the stuff that feels too spiritual for you, okay? So for example, you might not have past life healing in there. That is an optional add-in if you want to. You don't have to have past life healing. And I only added that in a later point once I was trained in past life healing and had developed past life healing. Okay, so that's just an example. Emma Jane, can we borrow your testimonials before we get our own? So yeah, I've been asked that question before, and what we would do is provide a series of transferable testimonials. And as long as, and I'll get it all checked out with our legal team as well, as long as it says, this work has helped others to unlock rather than I have unlocked, because that would not be authentic until you get your own results in, of course. I think there's a way we can word it that still sells your program, but we want to make sure that everything is legal and in integrity and authentic in our marketing as well. So we will look into all of that. We're already consulting with our legal team at the moment around the contracts and everything like that. So leave that with us. But there's definitely a way that you can say this work has previously unlocked results like blah, 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 in a way that is authentic and in integrity. And so what are the things that get in the way of this? Well, I work with thousands and thousands of women in business now, and these archetypes are universal. So what I mean by that is everybody has them. This is why everybody benefits from doing this healing work. Everyone benefits from healing the Success Saboteur Archetypes. So I'm just going to give you an overview, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about how they are blocking this for you. So first of all, then, let's just give a bit of an overview. So I noticed in my journey what I thought were blocks, things that were holding me back in my business, were actually identities, archetypes that were holding me back. Okay, so anyway, I only realized that when I saw that other women were reflecting these identities back to me when I was working with them. And yeah, that's when I realized there was so much beyond just a business block that people face. It was actually core parts of their psyche, core identities, core archetypes that they have adopted through some point in their life, usually in order to get a need met, to deal with or heal through something, to survive something, and these are archetypes. We call them the Success Saboteur Archetypes now, but really they were coping mechanisms that you developed earlier in your life, usually in childhood, to help you to cope with painful things, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean you went through trauma or big, what we consider big traumas like abuse, like I went through, or bullying. I was severely bullied. I come from a split home. It doesn't mean you have to have gone through those things to have these saboteurs, right? Because you can have an outcast saboteur, which is essentially fears of visibility, fears of being seen, because you forgot your words in a school play and everyone laughed at you and you've been too scared and too terrified to public speak ever since, right? So sometimes it's things like that that we wouldn't necessarily consider big traumas. It's things like never feeling good enough. Nobody ever said something really horrible and nasty to you when you were younger that you can remember, but maybe you were never praised, right? So the omission of praise and positive reinforcement left you feeling like I'm just not good enough and having lots of self-doubt. Again, these are not things we consider as big traumas, but they're things that everyone goes through, right? So there are universal experiences and feelings that we all have, not feeling worthy, not feeling good enough, not feeling safe, not feeling loved, not feeling safe to be seen or heard, all of these things that can contribute to the development of these saboteurs. And they're essentially like your best friends. They're trying to help you. When you're younger, they do. Nobody wants to feel rejected, and nobody wants to feel abandoned. Nobody wants to feel not good enough. So you develop these protection mechanisms. But what happens is when you are a woman, when you are an adult, when you are trying to grow in your business, they keep coming up to protect you because all of this is scary, right? It is like the biggest transformational journey, the biggest spiritual journey, running your own business. Let me know in the comments if you agree. It brings all your unhealed stuff to the surface, all your fears, all of the things that you didn't think were even there anymore, things that you thought you'd worked on, right? And so they're like, every time you're feeling nervous because you're going out of your comfort zone and business is continuously going outside of your comfort zone, they come up to help you. But really now they're keeping you small. So this is the journey that we go on in the Ultimate Uplevel Academy. We are healing all of these saboteurs so that, and soothing them really, and showing them actually, I'm safe now. I'm safe now. I want this now. And I need you to protect me and help me in a different way now, right? It's not about rejecting them. It's about alchemizing them into something that's now going to help you. And so every woman I work with in business has all of these. It doesn't matter how successful they are. They could be making 10 million. I've made 10 million. And every new level you grow to, they come up again, but in slightly different ways. So it's this continuous evolution, continuous expansion. And these are the 5 key ones, the only ones that I've seen with the women that I've worked with that I've identified. And they can be adapted to any niche. So I particularly have used them for business success, but they can be adapted to any niche, right? They are not dependent on only having a business. It could be in leadership, it could be in relationships. I've actually created a course around helping people heal their relationship with their body that was based on the saboteurs, because we sabotage our bodies, right? Anything you sabotage, these can be applied to. Careers, leadership, relationships, your bodies, your relationship with food. It can be applied to any niche. Money. Oh my God, so much stuff around money with these. So you might be watching this thinking, oh, well, this is not relevant to me because I don't really work in business. Whilst, of course, everything is a lot easier to apply to business because they've already done it for you, they are completely adaptable to any niche. Oh, sorry. Let me run through each one now. Just a quick overview, because we don't want to take too long on this. We've got a lot to get through, and I'm sure you've got other things you need to do today as well. So the overgiver. So this is the part of you that overgives in order to be loved, to feel good enough, to receive, or you want to receive from others. You don't believe that you're enough just as who you are. You believe you have to give or do things for others in order to be loved. Undercharging, over delivering in your business, on the verge of burnout, feeling resentful perhaps that other people don't give as much to you. And that can really push people away, not just in business, but in romantic and personal relationships as well. Then we have the overprotector. So I view this one as like your inner overprotective mother. She's trying to stop you doing anything that's going to let you grow and is stifling you. And really, this one is all around the fear of success. More people fear success than they fear failure. I learned that one out the hard way. And so every time you're trying to grow to new levels of success, this one dramatically holds you back and keeps you in your comfort zone where you're going to feel safe, right? And that just keeps you going around in circles and keeps you plateaued and stuff. They all kind of keep you plateaued in business, but this one in particular, maybe you had a success leap and you couldn't hold it and you went backwards. And you might feel a lot of shame around that. And actually, this is the overprotector because she was like, whoa, no, 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 we're going to go back there to, this earlier version of us that felt a lot safer than this, right? And I experienced that as well. That's what I did when I brought my new body workout. And, it was amazing, amazing results, amazing clients in there. And, charged more for that than any other program I'd ever put out. And then my overprotector was like, oh, no, let's go back to the Ultimate Uplevel Academy because we felt much safer over there. So we do it all the time, right? But every time you heal these, you're expanding to a new level of capacity to receive and hold more, not just in your business, but in your life too. Let me know which ones resonate for you. So you've got the outcast then, which is obviously the fears of being seen, the fear of being visible. Now, there's two levels of this. You can be someone who completely won't do anything visible, no public speaking, hate going to networking events, that type of thing. But there's also the outcast who is seen, but is pretending to be someone else. So wearing the mask, and that makes you feel safe. So you're not really being your authentic self, right? There's two versions of the outcast. And really, you have this deep desire to be seen and to impact the world and talk on stages and write books and all of the things. But this outcast keeps you small and keeps you hiding. Then we've got the imposter, but this was actually a blind spot for me, first of all. It was only when I kept seeing it being mirrored to me by other clients that I realized I had an imposter that I didn't even realize was there. So the imposter believes that all of her success is a fluke, luck, chance, that she's not really as good or successful or talented as other people says she is. She feels like she's going to be found out, that she's not good enough, not worthy of the success that she's created, and just always doubting yourself. So you might really struggle to make decisions in your business, going around in circles, trying to lead more from your head instead of your heart and your intuition. And she is the one that's most blocking you being able to, be more intuitive and spiritually guided in your business, which dramatically impacts the level of success you receive. So then we have the hustler. And I forgot to say, we all have all 5 of these, but you will have one that is probably a bit more dominant than the others. And really depends what you're going through in your life, which one comes up the strongest to support you. The hustler keeps you working really hard for every penny you make. So obviously caps your income, keeps you really being in a state of like fight or flight, burnout, exhaustion. And you're probably thinking, how the hell am I meant to make any more money than what I do now? Because I'm already working 80 hours a week just to create what I've got now, right? It's very much exchanging time for money, keeps you in the one-to-one and stops you expanding your income and impact through group courses, because part of you believes it's cheating to not work hard for every single thing, right? The imposter stops you stepping up as a leader, creating something powerful, innovative, and also from owning that you're a leader in what you do. So this all affects those six that we were talking about. The outcast will stop you talking about what you do, stop you going on podcasts, speaking on stages, writing those books that you need to write. Essentially stop you getting out there and being seen by more people. Emma Jane, the outcast, has been my biggest, all of them to different extents. Yeah. The overprotector will keep you capped at your current income level. If you do have success sleeps, you won't be able to hold them necessarily, not always. And the overgiver, of course, just keeps you so dramatically undercharging for what you do and overgiving your energy that you are so depleted. Again, a little bit like the overgiver and the hustler, very connected. They're both strong, wounded masculine energy. And you literally could not, energetically, the universe won't give you more because you're so worn out and wired from what you've already got. There's no time to look after you. And so, like, you're about to have the straw that'll break the camel's back. So the universe is protecting you. It's not going to give you more until you heal your overgiver. So we can see then how these connect to, we just go back, the 6 M's. The saboteurs affect your mindset. They affect your magnetism. They affect you stepping into leadership and being seen as someone who's leading a movement, a powerful movement. They stop you from really essentially innovating your method and owning your expertise and being visible with that to the world. The $1 million model, they definitely won't let you create a scalable business model because success doesn't feel safe. I have to work hard for every penny that I earn. And I'm already overgiving over here, so there's no space for anything else. And the $1 million offer, again, all of them connected to that, especially the hustler, because it really believes that passive income is cheating. Let me know if you have that belief. That's actually one of the things we do heal in the hustler archetype. The hustler stops you being able to have money and love. It believes you have to sacrifice something in order to have success somewhere else. So money, love, and health. And when we go through healing that, you get to have it all, right? You get to have all of those things. So bring us back to this next phase of the workshop. I'd love to know what has been the most insightful thing so far for you, or what's given you like a little aha so far. Let me know in the comments. Yeah, my strongest are the overgiver and the imposter. Business is the biggest personal development journey ever. It really is. But I love it. I love it. I'm a glutton for punishment. I love it. It's like motherhood. Motherhood is the biggest journey, the biggest spiritual journey, really. And just like business is too. They're both things that we have birthed and created in the world. Yeah, the saboteur is blocking so much creativity and inner power. Yeah, the imposter dramatically blocks creativity. So when it comes to creating courses and writing courses, the imposter really does not let you. It's like even writing content, you'll just have a mind blank. You just think, I've got nothing to say. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. I don't know who I am or what I'm doing. These are the types of beliefs that come up. So I always know when my imposter has been triggered because I'll just lose any ability to write content and just feel like, oh, I don't know what to say today. What am I even doing anymore? Maybe my whole business is going to fail. That's the imposter, right? Maybe I've just lost my magic talent. Is this so funny? I call it no man's land because you just don't know what you're doing. You feel like you don't know what you're doing anymore. And really, you're just in between. You're in a transition and you're in between two identities. You're trying to stay in the old identity that makes you feel safe. And the other half of you is like, I want to go over here. I want to go over here. And you end up just being like torn into two and feeling nothing and not going anywhere. That is the imposter. And also, one of my signs is I'll always go and invest in loads of people to find the solution, like loads of people, not just one. Like, oh my God, I know, I'll go and invest in. So, and do you know what I always do? I always go and learn strategy, then don't use any of it because I realize, my imposter got triggered. Just spent a lot of money. Just spent a lot of money trying to figure out with lots of different people who were telling me all different things and confusing me even more. And then I realized, got to heal my self-trust, got to heal my imposter. And then I find the solution, right? You are the most powerful asset in your business. You are the most powerful asset in your business. And nobody knows your business better than you do. So really, this work is the deep, deep healing and transformational work that allows you to be the leader of yourself and your business in a way that nobody else can really do for you. And we give our power away a lot, I think, to other people. And this deep healing work allows you to unlock all of you and bring it to your life and your work. Okay, so behind the scenes. So remember the $1 million model I showed you earlier? The free lead magnets, and that's sort of broken down into launch lead magnets and audience building lead magnets, I would say. The paid lead magnets, which is the masterclasses, the niche courses, and the signature academy. So I'm going to show you how what I've created with the $1 million business in a box, how that fits in with this. Okay, so first of all, you will get 4 free lead magnets. 4 free lead magnets. This includes email funnel content to take and tweak, right? So there will always be an element of taking and tweaking with this because you'll have to put in your own stories and your own results, your own transformations, but I will make it as easy as possible for you to identify where you need to put those bits in, where you need to tweak things. So the 4 free lead magnets that you get, and it's very, I should have separated out the Success Saboteur Archetypes online assessment because that is a psychological model, right? It is, calling it a lead magnet is just undervaluing the magic of it. It's a Success Saboteur Archetypes assessment. We could call it an online quiz. I don't like to call it quiz, again, because it undervalues the power. This is a true psychological assessment tool. It's been tested on over 10,000 people that identifies the archetypes, the saboteur archetypes in other women entrepreneurs. The purpose of it is to build your email list and give someone instant transformation and impact that makes them want to work with you. Then we have the Unlock Your Ultimate Up Level webinar, which is a launch asset. So this is a free webinar that you run when you are launching your own academy. It might have the same name or it might have a different name, right? The Saboteur archetype, that is the thing that you're not allowed to change the name on because it's a globally recognized psychological model. The name of the model needs to stay the same. The name of the archetypes needs to stay the same. Right? Everything else you can white label, call it your own names, change it all around, whatever you want to do. So you get the Unlock Your Ultimate Up Level webinar. And again, if your message is something else, you don't have to have Ultimate Up Level Academy and Unlock Your Ultimate Up Level as your movement and your message. It could be Unlock Sacred Success, right? If your concept, your thing that you want to be known for is Sacred Success, you could give it a different name, right? The Sacred Success Academy could be the name of the academy, right? So if you're thinking, well, I don't want to talk about the ultimate up level, that's not going to be my message and my movement. It's adaptable, right? You just get all of it to take and tweak to adapt to what you want to do with it. Guest expert workshop, right? So that is essentially a variation on your launch webinar. So you would go into other people's networks, audiences, and deliver your masterclass. It could be in person or it could be online. That's really how I grew my business in the earlier stages. And this is organic audience building. And I know that that workshop works powerfully because I've already used it as a launch webinar. And I've had people do a guest expert workshop with no pitching and immediately come and buy my Ultimate Uplevel Academy afterwards. So again, I'm giving you those to take and tweak. I'll also give you a completely adaptable webinar template. So I've tested and tried, I've done loads of webinars now that have led to high multi-5. Well, my first one was a lower multi-5, 35K launch, right up to six-figure launches with this webinar template. I actually sell this separately for £1,111, but I'm going to include it for you. So if you want to write a completely new webinar to launch your stuff with, it's going to be included for you. Then we have the Your Next Six Figures launch experience. I would only advise that you do that if you are more experienced in launching. Please don't make that the first thing that you do, or it'll put you off launching for life. But this is a proven multi-day launch experience for more experienced launchers, right? When you're ready, when you've already started to build up your reputation around this work, that will completely skyrocket things to the next level. So those launch experiences, I've consistently, so that the method behind that launch experience, that is worth that. Like nobody has ever been taught that method by me. That method is worth, if I was to sell it, I'd sell it for 5,000 on its own, because it has led to multi six-figure launches organically with a small audience. Thanks to that launch experience, I've had 900 people organically, over 1,000 people in experiences organically. I've had up to $350,000 launches just from that launch experience. And you're going to get my template to do that. You're going to get the exact one that I use for Ultimate Uplevel Academy and the Saboteurs. It's called Your Next Six Figures. But you'll be able to tweak that and adapt that to anything if you're not doing business related work, okay? Because you're going to have the strategy to go and do it. But as I said, don't jump into that. Don't jump into that straight away unless you are already experienced with launching. Start more around the webinars and the assessments, right? Because that's going to help you build your audience. We want to make this as easy and simple as possible for you. And that really is the way I did it. I started there with webinars and the online assessment, especially guest expert workshops, and then built up from there to launch experiences. So the Success Saboteur assessment. Emma Jane, a tech question. Do we need to run Windows or Mac? Does it make a difference? Thinking about personalizing templates. Do you know, I just think as long as you've got Google Presentation and Google Docs, I think you can get that on any. I'm not a techie person, but I'll check with the team afterwards as well. But I think as long as you've just got access to that, it should be okay. But I will look into that anyway. Okay, so the assessment, again, even just this assessment alone is multi-million-dollar IP. It's revolutionary. It works. It's been compared to the methodology. It's being compared to the same level as the methodologies from psychological geniuses. I'm not saying this to be big-headed. I know you must think, oh my God, but people literally say this, right? Other people who are from the same industry, psychological background, have said that this methodology, this intellectual property, is on the same level as psychological methodologies created by geniuses in the past 100 years, like Carl Jung, Freud, William James, Pavlov, Adler, and even Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It is revolutionary, and it will help anyone, not just business women. You will get the full transfer of this intellectual property to use for yourself within your business. This took me 6 months to develop, and I've tested it on over 10,000 people. Tirza, yeah, I absolutely agree with that statement. Thank you, Tirza. So you do need a platform that can host quizzes. That's a tech thing that you will need. Yeah, Emma, yeah, me too. Oh, thank you, ladies. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of it. And, you know, my background was psychology. I always wanted to be a psychologist, but I ended up going a different route. But I've been able to put that knowledge to good use. You need to Try Interact. Try Interact is a quiz hosting platform that allows people to go through your quiz, and you get to then collect all the data and the leads for your own email list because of that platform. It is about $27 a month. I had a look. The cheapest cost to that platform is $27 a month. But this has organically generated over 10,000 leads for my business without really marketing it. I will add, I barely ever talk about it. And it's organically brought over 10,000 leads into my business. How much would it cost you to get 10,000 leads with Facebook advertising? Probably about £30,000, right? So the fact that this organically generates leads, anytime you go somewhere to do a talk, do a guest expert workshop, this is how it all starts to come together, right? Go into other people's audiences, do a big talks on stage. You send them to your lead magnet. I send people to this. That's the only way people ever find out about this, right? It's called Try Interact. Try Interact. This is all protected intellectual property. This is the thing that most people try to copy from me. We've had lots of IP issues over the years. This is the thing that most people try to steal because it's that good, right? But also that showed me there's a need for this. People want this, so I can license it. I can license it to people. You can't recreate this. It's already been done, right? And so you need Try Interact to host. You'll get an email funnel with it. You're not pitching in other people's communities, which you're not really meant to do usually. You're taking them straight to a powerful experience with you that's free for them to do, that immediately shows them they need your work. It's genius. It's genius. And then you've got an email list building from all these people who are really interested in the saboteurs and healing their saboteurs. Now, you will have two versions of the quiz. If you end up buying the business in a box, there's some people on you who've already bought the business in the box. You get two versions of the quiz. You'll get a public-facing one that just shows people the top saboteur. Maybe actually Carmen, who's on the call with me. Carmen, can you find the link for the saboteur quiz? Because there might be people here who want to discover their top saboteur. It's on the first page of my website, Carmen. If you want to scroll down, you'll see a link. If you can share that link here. You also get a private version that's for clients only. Okay, so you want to give people a flavor of this. You show them their top saboteur through the assessment. And there's lots of moving parts to this, but if you're one of the first 20 people to sign up, my team will do all of the tech setup for this for you, connect it to your email systems, sort out all your landing pages for your different results and things. They will do all that for you. It's a really big piece of work, but you'll get that as a free bonus if you're one of the first 20 people. And over half of those spaces are already taken as well. You get the email funnels to go with it. Again, this is take and tweak, right? Because you'll swap out details about me for details about you, but I'll make sure that it's all very clear where you tweak. This, by the way, wherever you put it on, Try Interact or on a website, it just needs to say somewhere small, copyright Natasha Bray 2020. It's the only piece that is not white label in this whole thing, because it's already an internationally recognized piece of intellectual property, okay? You get your private version then is for people who come into the Ultimate Up Level Academy, and this is where magic happens, right? The private version, they get to see the results of all their saboteurs, which is what you see on the picture here. So they get to see how much each saboteur is impacting them, not just their top saboteur, which is the public free quiz. This is the client only version. And then here's, right, this just makes me so excited. People go through healing, for example, might go through the 6-week course that heals the imposter saboteur in the academy. They do the quiz again, and that saboteur completely disappears because it has been healed. It disappears off their results. We have verifiable evidence that this work works. Measurable evidence of people's saboteurs completely disappearing off the results once they've healed them. So you keep that as an internal thing. People will do it at the start of their saboteur experience with you, and you can measure the results. You'll get guidance for how to use the quiz, how to maximize the quiz. You may even be someone who runs ads in your business. You can run ads to it. I can guarantee you probably he'll have 10,000 in a couple of months rather than 10,000 over a few years, because I've just used it organically and naturally. You've got trademarks for each of the saboteurs. It's trademarked intellectual property. It's legally protected. And I will always protect that, okay? That's even though you will pay a one-off fee for this business in a box, I will always make sure that that IP remains protected. It's internationally recognized intellectual property with global goodwill. The names, as I said, the trademarks, the names on this must not change. It's the only bit that's not white label. That alone, as I said, that is multi-million dollar IP. But I would value that if I was to sell that. If I was to sell this whole thing to one person, I'd be selling this business for 7 figures. Yeah, this is just phenomenal. I love the quiz, its content, and as a tool. Yeah. If I was to sell all of this to one person, it'd be 7 figures. Because it's not built on me. It doesn't just work because I'm the one running it. It's standalone intellectual property. Then you get an ultimate up level webinar. Again, it's done for you. You just take and tweak, insert your own stories and your own details just to tailor it to you. And you'll get your webinar version, which is a launch webinar that you would deliver to your own audience. And you will get your guest expert masterclass version. Really, it's very similar. It just takes out some of the pitching elements, but it still works. Both have been tested as highly converting. You know, I've always had brilliant feedback when I've gone and delivered that in other people's masterclasses as well, other people's networks, masterminds, things like that. So you get the done for you webinar, the email funnel that goes with it, guest expert workshop version to magnetize more people into your world from other people's audiences, a high converting webinar template, just more of a plain template version to create your own webinars, and all of the slides and the scripts that go with the slides, so what you would say with each slide is all been created for you. I was me and Talia, the team manager, we were creating this, and we had to work late last night because some family stuff came up yesterday, and we were just like, oh my god, like every slide we're like, oh my god, there's like so much value in this. This is literally the craziest and most incredible offer that I've ever created. She said even I would buy it, and she's not a business owner, of course. She's the manager of my business, but she was like, it's so good, even I would buy this. All of these individually, to have these strategies to take and tweak and adapt in your business are priceless. 9-day live launch experience. It's called your next six figures, right? But you could adapt it to your first six figures, and I will put instructions in how you could adapt it to that. If perhaps you didn't feel confident in delivering, because it focuses on how to have six-figure years, six-figure launches, and six-figure months. But if you're not yet at six-figure launches and six-figure months in your own business, you might feel, oh, don't feel like I can authentically teach that far ahead. But you can authentically teach your first six figures. Everyone has made at least six figures collectively to date. And if you didn't realize that, you can go back and find that out. So you can authentically sell your first six figures if you don't feel ready to sell your next six figures. Oh, I love your first six figures. Yes, please. Yeah. Emma Mason, this offer feels like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Feeling blessed to have this opportunity. Oh, that makes me so happy. And so you get to steal my exact framework that I use to run organic six and multi six-figure launches. For other launches too, you've got it there as a template to take and tweak and adapt, right? And your next six figures is also a protected trademark, so you'll get the license to use that trademark and to build off that tried and tested concept. Some launch guidance will be included in that as well. Again, I've put hours and hours, weeks of time into creating each of these assets, and you get them all to build upon. You also get 4 masterclasses. And when I say masterclasses, they're more like mini courses, just in one compressed course, masterclass format. They're around 2.5 to 3 hours long. Again, tried and tested. People have wild results just from these masterclasses. And the aim of them is they are low price, high value. So they blow people away and they cannot wait to work with you in your other higher priced programs. Okay. So anytime you create something, you want to kind of the true price of it should be 3 to 10 times more than what it actually is. And that's how you know you're over delivering, but not from a place of over giving, but from a place of truly, truly wanting to blow your clients away with what you've delivered. So these are a series of 2.5-hour masterclasses that are actually part of the Academy curriculum. Sold Out on Social is how I've made millions through social media marketing. Prosperity pricing is how to raise your prices and attract better clients who pay you well for what you do. Audience Alchemy is how to grow your audience organically. And Sacred Sales completely transform your approach to selling and your relationship to selling. And they're not the types of strategies you'd find in a business course. It's very much done my way, which integrates healing and transformation and energetics into the strategy. And honestly, so one person did one technique from Sold Out on Social and had 150 people asking to work with it. It's really mind-blowing, right? And all of this, I've never learned business strategy from anyone else. I reverse engineer what I did. So I channel and intuitively, I've never had a business plan. I've made 10 million in my business. I've never had a business plan. I literally follow my intuition and do what my heart guides me to do. And then I reverse engineer it to teach it to other people. And that's what you'll find in the strategy, these masterclasses. And it works. I'm not the only one. So many clients have used these and had huge transformations. So Pragito, she did the Sacred Sales one. Things have picked up with her sales immediately. Really confident that she's going to, continue to grow with that. Packed full of valuable insight, strategies, tools, and techniques. They are literally like courses in one masterclass, jam-packed full of value. One woman actually said the marketing masterclass was better that Sold Out through social. She learned more in that than a marketing course that she did in a university in a 2.5-hour masterclass. Loving the prosperity pricing. I used it. I used out one strategy. She used one strategy, and they're full of strategies. With her pregnancy program, it was fully booked. It made $15,000 in 2 days. Wow. I've walked away with so much clarity about how to price moving forward, right? So these are essential curriculum masterclasses that go alongside the healing courses inside the Ultimate Uplevel Academy. So that's why they're included, but you can sell them separately to lead people into coming to work in your Ultimate Uplevel Academy. So I might run a different one every month. You would record it once, as in you deliver it live once and you record it during that live one. And then you just sell it passively forevermore. As in you just sell the recording. You don't have to do any more work to continue to make money from that asset other than the first time you record it. So through the Business in the Box, you're going to get 4 passive income masterclasses that you have to deliver live and record once and can make money from forevermore. And impact, of course. And when people do it, they are being you're planting seeds for them to come into the full Ultimate Uplevel Academy with you. All of the sales pages that I've written, you will get. Again, you don't have to use it as it is. You take and tweak, right? Take and tweak and adapt, of course. I'll highlight in red what bits need to be tweaked or where you need to put your own stories in. And we will have, again, the authentic testimonials. We'll check legally the right way to word it. This work has previously unlocked these kinds of results. It'll say something like that. So you will get to benefit from the results I've already created with people. But when you start getting your own, you want to put your own social proof in there. Are these IPs of yours too? Yeah. What do you mean by that? Sorry. Everything is what I've created. It's all my intellectual property. Everything here is my intellectual property. Masterclasses I've created, concepts I've created. They're trademarks. Most of those are trademarked too. So you'd get the trademarks if you wanted to keep the names. I would say if you're delivering something exactly as it is, keep the name. It's already proven. It's already known that people will respond to this and buy this. But you will get, if you buy the Business in a Box, even though it's all my intellectual property and it will remain my intellectual property as the originator of the work, I am going to give you a lifetime license for you to use it, right? So that means it becomes yours. But I'm the one who holds the original blueprint, I guess, the original for it all. Does that make sense? So you're allowed to do what you want with these. You can take bits out of the masterclasses if you want to and create something else with it. Really, it's up to you what you do with it, because I'm giving it to you to do what you want with it. I'm selling it to you for you to then white label, take and tweak, or as I say, you can just deliver it exactly as it is with the names that it already has. So you'll get the 4 key parts of the Ultimate Uplevel curriculum. They are supplementary parts to the Ultimate Uplevel. Ultimate Uplevel. I'm saying that phrase too much. You will get those 4. And you can get other people to contribute to your own academy. There might be some guest experts that have skills that you don't have. Sometimes I used to have some guest experts contribute workshops as well, alongside those 4. They're the key main 4 that you must have in your academy if you are creating an academy for entrepreneurs, that is. And then you can add in your own things that you might find important or want to contribute to. And I add this as a separate library that comes with the main Saboteur curriculum. So it's been called various things, but the best one to call it if you are doing entrepreneur work would be the Revolutionize Your Revenue library, because that's really what it is. And it was called that actually until my last launch, where I gave it a new name that was linked to my rebrand. So moving on to the niche courses, right? So there are 5 niche courses. One is niched to each of the Success Saboteurs. It's specifically developed to heal That's saboteur. So we've got lead with love that heals the overgiver, success catalyst, which heals the overprotector, intuition and innovation, which heals the imposter, authentic visibility, which heals the outcast, wealth and with mastery, that heals the hustler. Now, all of the modules are written for you. Again, they will have sections which I'll highlight in red, either on the slides themselves or in the notes, because you get all of the scripts to say with each slide as well. And I'll show you an example of this now if it works. You will get all of the slides done for you. They're already branded. This was professional branding. You know, a really top designer that designed this. If you want to use the branding, you can. It's done for you, right? I know not everybody's got money to invest in professional designers. It's all there for you to use if you want to. Equally, if you've already got a brand and this, you feel this branding and design doesn't quite fit with your brand, you can change it, right? It's totally up to you to do what you want with this when you buy it. So you will get those 5 courses. The course modules are written for you. All the slides are done, and there'll be parts that are changed in red that you put your own information into. That's all you need to do. And then, of course, you need to go and record it. You can white label this, or you can build on the very strong international reputation that it already has. Each course is made up of 5 modules. 4 modules, the first 4, are healing based. Right? So this is why this work works for anyone. You can adapt it to any niche because only the 5th module is strategy based and business related, which means you could very easily adapt this to different niches, different audiences, and you would just change the strategy that's in the last module to the particular niche you're helping. So let me give you an example. Lead with love. The first 4 modules would work perfectly for your business. Might be a few little things to tweak. Maybe you're working in the relationship transformation field with romantic partners, right? And this is just a random example. Your first 4 modules would need barely any changes at all. Your final module, you might have strategies around more deeply connecting with your partner instead of what I have is strategies around your business, right? You would just swap out that last module for the course. So they are adaptable to any niche. I've got an example that I want to show you, just so you can get in your head what that looks like, what you're going to receive, essentially. Hopefully it will work. So I wanted to just show, Indy, I'm not sure if you meant, do you have to say they're my IP? No, you don't. Or everything I'm selling here is my IP. No, it's only the Saboteur quiz that needs to just have somewhere copyright of Natasha Bray, wherever the quiz is hosted, or originated by Natasha Bray 2020, because that actually protects it from, there's like certain things that legally protect it. But everything else is white label. You don't have to say this is Natasha Bray's work, right? It's only the Saboteur quiz that needs just somewhere in small, copyright Natasha Bray 2020, or originated by Natasha Bray in 2020. Everything else you present as yours. The names, even though I'll own the trademarks legally, right? Because I'm licensing those trademarks out to multiple people who want this. So even though I legally own the trademarks, you don't have to say this is Natasha Bray's, right? I don't want it to be like that. I want you to have freedom with this. I want you to innovate with it, to build upon it, right? White label means you take what's in there You can give it new names if you want to. It's only the Saboteur IP that has to stay, as I said, the same names and legally protected by copyright. Everything else you would take and turn it into your own thing. You could rename it, you can rebrand it. Some people, though, will want to keep it the same. Some people just literally will want to take it exactly as it is and present it exactly as it is. So there's two pathways, which I was going to explain a bit later. Some people will literally want to take it and run with it exactly as it is. Other people will want to just experiment a bit more with it, take the bits they like, add in things, remove things, but you've got the freedom to do that then. So just an example of what you're going to get with your course materials. And what you'll see here is just one of the modules for Lead with Love. And as I said, there's 5 modules with every course. So this is an example of what you will get. You would obviously change that photo out for photo view. You might want to change the branding entirely. Again, that's up to you. But you do have professionally branded slides and logos, etc. there for you if you want to use them. So I just want to show you this here. We've got speaker notes too. So you've got all of your slides done for you. And you'll see speaker notes down here, which you can use word for word. And then just an example, I'm just going to flick through some of these slides. You've got all of the notes to read and speak alongside the slides when you're recording it for your clients, right? This goes through the overgiver, how it shows up, some healing tasks, understanding the beliefs, the reasons behind it, the experiences that lead to it. And, example here. So what you'll find in the notes, speaker notes, is I will put sections in red where you have to put your own stories in to effectively, really tailor the work to you and your journey and your stories. So you will get all of that for you ready to take and tweak and insert your stories into. There might be some slides that also have some red on, but you just know wherever you see red, that's what you need to edit yourself, add your own stories, your own examples in. It's really easy, all done for you, like I said. And also an activation there at the end as well. And that is your example of a module. Okay, I'm glad that video worked. So yeah, you get 5 of those. So the way the niche courses run, they're 6 weeks long, 5 modules and 1 integration week. That integration week is very important for the transformation, for support, for catch-up time. And, I'll give you all of the strategy for how to run this as well as part of your purchase. I need to go back now to this slide. So I'll tell you a little bit more about each course and what it's really aimed at. The outcomes are there's loads of outcomes for each individual saboteur, but overall, really with Lead with Love and Healing the Overgiver, we're healing overgiving, we're learning how to receive, opening that person to receive, really transforming their leadership, not just leadership in business, how you lead yourself, how you lead others, how you lead in relationships, and also business if you're working with business owners. And it really helps people to raise their prices, celebrate their best months and launches ever, whilst feeling more healed, more open, more connected in their relationships too. So I put some results on each one so you can see as well the kinds of testimonials and just results that people share daily in this kind of group work. Lorna, for someone totally new to your work, will we go through this course ourselves and have the model as a business for us? Yeah. So I actually have a evergreen version of this course now. That's not the version that I would promote for you to launch initially, right? So I'm going to give you the strategy I used to use before this wasn't my main program anymore. But yeah, it's running now actually, and it finishes on the 31st of May next year. Which is my birthday, and that is, I will never be running the Ultimate Up Level Academy again because I'm passing this on to other people. So it's currently in its last cohort. So anyone who signs up to the Business in the Box before the end of October, you will have a full 7 months to come in and go through that program live with me and experience it with me. If you don't sign up before the end of October, then you've still got the possibility to go through your own materials, go through your own recordings, right? But if you want to come and experience it with me, then we're adding that in as a bonus for anyone who signs up before the end of October, because you need 7 months to go through it. But as I said, the format and the delivery is slightly different. Okay, it's an evergreen delivery. It's a different format, and I wouldn't advise that for your version of it, and I'll explain why. Because it's not my main program anymore. It's not my queen asset. It's not my number one thing anymore, whereas it was in the past. Yeah, Emma Jane, yeah, you can come in now. It's evergreen. You can come in now straight away. You can get started straight away. But we're only doing one last cohort. So this is we're going out with a bang. We're gonna have the best cohort ever. And yeah, we're just running this as the last one. And I'm excited and sad about it all at the same time. So then we have, we went through that, of course. The Success Catalyst. This is actually the newest saboteur, the overprotector. And this is an incredibly powerful course. We've had people have their best month ever just within weeks of going through this one course where they heal their overprotector saboteur. And we're healing the fears of success and 10x in your capacity to receive and hold more success, not just in business, but in life, right? It's very holistic transformation, holistic success, but people get their best ever results in business from this work. Better than any strategy course they've ever done, better than any one-to-one healing that they've ever done. And again, it can be adapted to non-business clients. Emma Jane, I'm even more excited now. Oh, sorry, I missed the testimonial. So like people are having their biggest ever contracts, right? 43K proposals. I've never been happier as an entrepreneur. Oh, sorry, no, I read that wrong. Through this new business, less than a month old. So within a month of starting her business, she had a 43K contract secured. I've never been happier. This is crazy results, crazy transformation. Intuition and innovation. I don't want to bore you by going into like too many details about it. Some of it you just got to come and experience, right? Intuition and innovation, healing the imposter. You heal your self-doubt, awaken your innovative inner coach. This is where we download the $1 million ideas. Lots of people have had their $1 million idea. Jess, for example, she downloaded her $1 million idea. And really what tends to happen is people are letting their imposter hold them back from their true soul purpose, what they really should be doing. And so this course really uncovers that. And when you start to then align to your true soul purpose, magic happens, right? You start to take fast action like never before because you're not doubting yourself, you're making decisions. Remember, decisions are important in what we want to manifest. When you've got a strong imposter, it stops your decision energy. It stops you making decisions and keeps you going around in circles. So, and really helps you tap into your intuition to guide your business. This is probably the one that most people say really unlocked the spiritual side, and that spiritual side changed a lot for them. So this person, I just love this. I've just done the Intuition Innovation module. In the last week, I've designed a new course, contacted a market research person, looked for a virtual assistant, found someone to do my website, received 3 calls without any strain, simply communicating from the soul. So fast action and lots of action. More people say I've done more in a month than I've done in the last year in my business because they're finally getting out of their own way. Jess, she had a mini launch with 5K offer that she channeled during this experience. Then she launched it, another offer that came off the back of it and made 80,000. She ended up making, I think it was $500,000 in 6 months with the new direction that came out of her doing intuition and innovation. Wealth and Myth Mastery. This is one of my favorites. I like obviously had to give all of this to you. I couldn't keep any of it back. If there's one course I could keep as just mine, it would be Wealth and Myth Mastery. They're all brilliant, by the way. But Wealth and Myth Mastery, and the reason is because the hustler is my strongest saboteur. And just, Wealth and Mastery really helps you be able to have love and success, love and money. And it unlocks more money for people than any money mindset or money courses that they've done before. It's so, so powerful. This is where you really own your worth. Feel and believe you are worthy, magnetize more dream clients, skyrocket your revenue, break through the plateaus, income plateaus that you might have. And then you get to make more money with more ease and actually keep more of it too. So it's not just about receiving money, it's about keeping money and building more wealth. Yeah, Emma, I cried my way through this one when I did it. It's all really deep, powerful work. So one of these testimonials here, I've never gone so deep. I've done lots of courses on money mindset, but I've never gone so deep. I've never done such transformational inner work. Every week has been mind-blowing. So that's every module is mind-blowing. I've experienced a switch on my mindset and my self-worth. And this person, I can tell who it is from the blurb, but you might not be able to. But that's a public testimonial anyway. She won't mind me sharing. Beatrice, she was able to hire people, finally start living and enjoying the money she was making. She started going on holiday with her kids, her daughters. She had 10K months and more. Yeah, so if you can't stay for the full workshop, you can watch it on replay afterwards. I'm not sure how much longer there is, maybe half an hour. And then, this lady here, again, this is a public testimonial. You'll find videos of these clients on my YouTube channel as well. I'm a completely different person than what I was when I started. I'm so much more confident. I've stopped relying on others to make business decisions for me. I've learned to trust my intuition. For the first time ever, I've tripled my monthly income. Tripled. I'm helping more women than ever, investing back into myself, propelling my business forward. And this is a mum of a young baby that's only 1 year old. It's truly life-changing. Then we have authentic visibility, where we're healing the outcast. This is all about really feeling safe to be seen, really stepping up as a thought leader, right? People having the confidence to use your voice, to be seen, to be heard. So we're healing fears of being seen, helping you stand out, helping you create a bigger impact by getting out there in front of more people, being more authentically visible than ever before, and magnetizing opportunities beyond your wildest dreams. So this is an example just of one client experience of this. She had really big fears of being seen, hiding herself, and she is now feeling more confident, feeling more connected, seeing results personally in personal relationships and at work. She's thriving, she's providing new services. Lead with Love was a game changer for her. Intuition and Innovation, a game changer. So these results that you're seeing, most people go through the full academy, right? So it's like they compound on each other. This is the value of doing the full transformational journey that the academy offers. Are the individual free masterclasses or webinars for each of these included? I haven't launched all of them as separate courses, right? So also courses that are £1,000 or under don't need launch masterclasses, but I do have a Wealth and Worth Mastery launch masterclass because I used to launch that one individually. So even though it's not on the list, we can include the Wealth and Worth Mastery launch masterclass. Ideally, you want people to be in your full academy, right? So we'll include it's called Unlocking Effortless Wealth. It's the tried and tested masterclass webinar, the free webinar that launches people into the Ultimate Up Level Academy. It launches into Wealth and Worth Mastery. I've given this as an example as well, actually, slightly later on. So this is what your full It's not, it's not academy. Yes, it's a 7-figure, a 7-month program, but it's not a course. It is an actual full academy of the five main programs, one that heals each of the saboteurs, and your additional workshop library that will go with it, which has got the 4 key business strategy masterclasses to go with it: sacred sales, sold out through social, prosperity pricing, and audience alchemy. And my branding and my business has changed over the years, but again, you don't have to use the branding that's there. It's just there if you want it, right? You can change it to your own branding, and of course, you put pictures of yourself on there. You wouldn't have pictures of me. I've just given these as this is how I've done it, but you would take it and make it yours. You would put all of your own. Please don't use pictures of me. Just put your own pictures on there to make it yours. But just to show you some visuals of what this could look like, right? You get the trademark. If you want to use the name Ultimate Up Level Academy, you will have a license to use that trademark. Brand assets, as I said, they've been professionally created. The backgrounds, the symbols, professionally designed, cost a lot of thousands of pounds. They're just there if you want to use them. Wealth and With Mastery's got its own brand that is very that's interlinked with the academy as well. But equally, if you've got a brand that's very different that this doesn't quite blend in with, just have your own brand design on there. The 5 niche courses and the 4 masterclasses, you can either use them as they are or white label them. Again, that's up to you. Sales page copy, and I say before the rebrand, right? Because my services now are aimed at a different level of business owner, right? So I'm going to give you the copy before my rebrand. And I'm going to give you the strategy that I used to use when the Ultimate Up Level Academy was my main thing. And it isn't anymore, and it hasn't been for the last 18 months. And even though it's not my main thing anymore, it's still generated multi-6 figures in my business. Because I've got a new body of work that I launched last year, which is a year-long body of work, which I'm going to relaunch. Again, it's a much more spiritual market than this current work. But you could, if you're someone who's got a spiritual business, you can definitely take what's here and add in your unique touch. You might have different skills, different trainings to what I've had that you can add in different healings, breath work, or shamanic healing that you might want to put in, right? So it's about really co-creating, integrating my magic with yours, taking what I've done and building upon it. Do you run it once a year? No, I'm going to tell you a bit more about that now. Depends how much money you want to make and how much time you've got, right? But I'm going to give you a couple of different ways that you can use this, depending on how much time and energy you have for it. So you will get sales page copy before the rebrand, okay? Because my new my imagery, my brand concepts is all in my new rebrand, which is my current rebrand, of course. Launch strategy. You will get lots of guides on how to run this effectively, guides on how to deliver it, etc. Now the RRP, so the recommended retail price of this, is 1,800 for your first launch. I sold it at that back in 2020. You can sell it for at least that now, and you will be undervaluing it if you sell it any less than that for the full academy, right? And then over time, once you start getting your testimonials in and building your confidence, you're going to increase that price. I've actually sold it for up to 3,777, but I really love spiritual numbers. So currently I sell it for 3,333, right? Do you run it once a year? No, we'll talk about that next. Okay. So this is what your own academy will be built upon. You might switch out whatever the supplemental masterclasses are, depending on your niche. If it's relationships, they're going to be, one could be on deepening connection with your partner, or like it's going to be whatever's going to supplement the healing that they're experiencing in the courses, the main curriculum, as we would call it. And this is the interesting thing, right? You could just launch one of these courses. And I want to make it clear, I have sold the Ultimate Uplevel Academy without a launch masterclass, without professional photos, and without a professionally designed sales page. Most of the things that I sell on Google Docs. It's only after I've sold things for a while that I'll end up getting a professional sales page done on a website. So don't let any of those things hold you back. When I did the first Your Next Six Figures launch, I did a selfie photo shoot, right? Where I got my hair and makeup done for £40 by a local makeup artist. Then I wore several different outfits and did selfie photo shoot on my iPhone. I ended up having a $500,000 month from selfie photos. So there's no excuse to get this out there. And with a Google Doc, I will add as well. A Google Doc is all you need. Do my little selfie photo shoot thing that I've mentioned. Right? You don't need to let all these other things hold you back. You don't need perfection with this. You just need to get it out there. My first ever online course I created was a health related course because I had a health business back then. And it was 2 documents. That was the actual that's what they received. One document that had the health plan on it. The other document had photos of the different meals that I'd taken myself with the recipes. People paid for it. Nobody complained about it. Over time, I built it up to being on a course platform, right? But I didn't even know what any of that was back then. It got people the transformation, and that's the thing they care about. They don't care if you haven't had a professional photo shoot for your photos, right? Don't let that be a thing that holds you back. They don't care that it's not a professional sales page on your website. I love to sell with Google Docs. I sell with Google Docs all the time. I'm a fast action taker. I can't wait for people to design things for me all of the time. So usually everything I sell, I've sold everything up to £40,000 packages with a Google Doc. A Google Doc sales page, not a professional sales page on a website. You could literally launch one of these niche courses, and I'll just use Wealth and Wealth Mastery as an example because that is one I have sold individually quite a lot. And just because it's just so important. And they're all important, but I love Wealth and Wealth Mastery personally for me. You could just launch that and make your money back for this whole investment. And you wouldn't just do that because you're here because you really want a 6 or 7 figure business, right? But you could create a 6-figure business with Wealth and Wealth Mastery, let alone the rest of the academy. And I'm going to show you how. You'll also get the Success Imprinting method, right? Again, you need to keep the name for this, but you don't need to say this is Natasha Bray's method or anything like that. You just need to keep the name because it works. It's already internationally recognized. So this is the $1 million method, Success Imprinting, the 5-stage method. You can add to the method if you want to. If you do a lot of body work, somatic work, you might want to have a body healing section in there. You might want to have something else in there, breath healing, right? Or it depends what you think is important. You can expand upon the method to give it your touch, right? To tie in with the work that you do. So this explains how the Ultimate Uplevel Academy works, how that work works, why it's so powerful, why people need it. If you go on podcasts, right, or other people's programs to deliver things, again, you don't have to say this came from Natasha Lee Bray. You just talk about it as if it's your own, right? You talk about it as if it's your own. You explain how it works, why these different levels of healing are so important. Or you might just go on and talk about the saboteur archetypes. Again, you don't need to say these came from Natasha Lee Bray, right? It just needs to be a tiny small thing on wherever that quiz is hosted, originated by Natasha Bray 2020. That's it. So don't feel like everywhere you go, you got to mention this came from me. You own it. It's yours. I've sold it to you. Any questions about that? So that's just a slightly different way to present them, by the way. I showed you a different way earlier. We had the table that described each of why each one was so important. This one is a slightly different way to present it. And again, that's a graphic that comes with the branding of the UUA. Again, you're welcome to use those. You might want to change the color. You can change the colors of them. So what actually makes it so successful, right? And a strategy alone does not make you successful, right? That is the whole premise of this work. You have to also do the work on you, in you, to make this successful. So why does this work? I'm going to tell you strategically and energetically why this is so successful, right? Energetically, I'm the embodiment of the work. That doesn't mean I'm perfect, by the way. I always sabotage myself, but I've expanded from being someone who sabotaged myself and couldn't break a 3K a month income plateau to someone who now makes six figures, right up to $500,000 a month, and is able to have love and health in my life too. It's always a continuous expansion. I always meet the saboteurs at new levels I grow to and have to do the next level to expand again, right? So I am the embodiment of this work. It doesn't matter what you sell. I could sell these earrings, right? If I never wear earrings, then I'm not really promoting my product, you know? If I sell crystals, but I hate crystals, I'm not a crystal lover, not spiritual, people are going to feel that. You need to be the embodiment of your work. So I do recommend you do this work yourself. It will revolutionize your life. It will change your business. It will heal you in ways that you've never healed before. And you will up level financially, emotionally, and spiritually. And you are then the embodiment of this work. People will see your transformation. They'll want it from you. By the way, you don't have to don't start putting barriers in. You don't have to complete the full academy before you start selling this, because you will start to transform within a week or two, right? People transform in every module of this work. So energetically, this is important to making something successful. So if you join before the end of October, you can come into my last round of this work. It's an evergreen format. It's a different delivery format to what I recommend, and I'll explain why in a minute, because it's not my main thing in my business anymore. But I'm going to teach you a different way. The way that I did right until the last cohort that I put together this year. So that's the energetic piece. This is the bit, right, that makes it so successful. Strategically, all roads lead to the academy. Every single asset we've spoken about in this masterclass, the quiz, or the assessment, as I prefer to call it, the assessment, the guest expert masterclasses, the launch experience, every time you go on a podcast, when you're marketing, when you create paid masterclasses, when you create niche courses, everything leads to people joining the full academy. All roads lead to the academy. This is an intentional but also an intuitive ecosystem where everything I do leads people to my #1 program. It's extremely results focused. Everything is extremely results focused, right? That's also what makes it work. The fact that it gets such incredible results. This is why this work is incredibly successful. Strategically, it's the result focusedness of when people are in there and they're getting results and lots of results. But my strategy around is everything I do leads to this. So you can understand, well, if I've got a new body of work that I want to bring out, I can't actually effectively dedicate myself to both because all of the roads need to lead to the one thing. I've tried many ways because I love this work so much, but I can't do this with two different bodies of work, right? So this is why my solution, because this work must exist in the world, is too important not to, is to stop doing this myself and pass the torch on to 111 people. So everything you do, everywhere you go, you are planting seeds for your full Ultimate Up Level Academy. In those little masterclasses, the low ticket, as we call it, low ticket, low cost, high value masterclasses, I'm planting seeds to go and heal their saboteurs in the Ultimate Up Level Academy. When I go on podcasts, I'm planting seeds. When I go on guest expert masterclasses, I'm planting seeds. So can you see now how it's so complicated to implement this strategic piece when I have two separate bodies of work? Because all roads are going to two different places. And it's not possible. I tried. It's not possible. So my whole business is completely changing next year. And hopefully I'm going to see lots of you completely changing your businesses too through this work and delivering this work. Yeah, that's okay, ladies. You can watch it on replay. I'm sorry it's so long. There's just obviously a lot to cover. But yeah, watch the rest on replay when it's uploaded. We'll let you know. Yeah, so Indy is heart healing therapy trained. Now, you do need some sort of subconscious therapy qualification, certification to do the subconscious elements of this work. If you don't have that already, you might want to have my combined business in a box and heart healing if you haven't already got a license to do that kind of work, because you'll have to include whatever therapy you're licensed in the course. Okay. So if you are heart healing trained, you will receive and be able to use heart healing in there. Indy, other people might be trained in something else, so they're going to use their modality in there. So the modality that you use, and this is just for the subconscious piece, needs to be something that you're trained in, right? That's very important for you and for your clients. So it's going to be different for everyone. Some people might be using shamanism, right? Shamanic therapy. Some people might be using hypnotherapy. Some might be using RTT. Some will be using heart healing. It really depends on what you're trained in. That's just one piece of the overall puzzle. But as I say, if you haven't got a subconscious therapy background or subconscious therapy license already, we have already been selling a dual offer, a double package really, for those who want a therapy or need a subconscious therapy, as well as wanting the business in a box stuff. So because that's more of a heart healing question, I'll get Carmen to take that down, Indy, so it just won't be relevant to everyone on the call. But yeah, it's a good question. And the stuff that relates more to heart healing, we'll answer that separately then. So strategically, it works because everything you do is planting seeds in that direction. but also the results. And there's certain strategies that I use, certain elements of the delivery where I then get people to share their results far and wide, right? And that is also how you bring more people in organically. So we're now getting on to the last section. You'll be glad to know how you can apply it in your own business for more success, freedom, and wealth and impact beyond your wildest dreams. So what I'm going to show you here actually is how ridiculously easy it will be to make your investment back and then some. How easy it will be to create a six-figure year with this, and also how you would potentially scale it to a seven-figure year just from these assets. That doesn't include one-to-one work, right? And you'll be surprised, I think, when you see it broken down of how simple it can be. And I will be including a 12-month implementation plan with this too, to help you to have the most success with this. I want you to get this out there. I want more people to be going through this work. So you'll get a 12-month implementation plan, and you know there might be two examples. If this work is completely different to what you've done before, this is how I'd approach it over the next 12 months. And if you're already in this field, in this space, this is how I'd approach it, right? So you'll have your 12-month plan. And as I mentioned earlier, you could take one masterclass and one niche course, and you could create a six-figure a year revenue business. I'm going to show you how. So choose your pathway. This is what we mentioned earlier. There's two pathways. One, the first pathway is licensing. So you're just going to take it exactly as it is. And you might want to do that. You might want to keep it as simple and easy as possible, take it exactly as it is, deliver it exactly as it is, and build on the existing reputation that it has, and keep the established and recognized names. You might want to use the same professional branding, or you might want to redesign or rebrand it to feel more in alignment with your brand identity. And then we have pathway 2, which is white label. Remember the Saboteurs quiz, that has to stay with that name, Success Saboteur Archetypes, and the archetype names need to stay the same. But everything else can be white labeled. You will rename things, take what you want from the materials to create your own courses with your own names, your own brand identity to fit in with your existing brand or business. And which pathway you decide is completely up to you, but they're almost like the two different ways that you could maximize this investment or use this investment. So let's look at an example of how you could make six figures in a year from this. And this blew my mind when I was putting this together earlier. Even at the lowest RRP, you could do 2 launches. To bear in mind, this is a 7-month program, right? And you can have people pay in full, or they can have 7 months of installment plans to spread the cost. A lot of people like to do that. You could have 2 launches a year if you only wanted to do 2 launches. This is almost like I'm going to say lazy, not lazy in a negative way, but the lazy 6-figure launch strategy. If you wanted to make 6 figures from this investment per year, by the way, this investment will pay you forevermore. You could do 2 launches a year at the lowest price, recommended price, $1,800, and have 28 people per launch. That was your goal. And you would make just from this £100,800, which is about $135,000 if you're more of my American audience. Or you could do 4 launches a year, 1 per quarter, so you're consistently bringing in a big chunk of income every quarter and new installment plans that compound your income and revenue over time. 4 launches a year, 1 per quarter. Very doable. And you might have 20 people per launch. Or you could have 40, who knows, right? You could have more per launch. But if you just, even if you just brought 20 people in per launch at £1,800, that's £144,000 that you're making only from a group course, a group academy. That doesn't include your other work. How does that sound? That also doesn't include downsells. It doesn't include VIP. So you can sell a VIP version with one-to-one added in, which would be a slightly higher cost. You can downsell people to just one of the courses if they are not quite ready for the full academy. You can have payment plans. Usually they're a little bit extra cost as well. So you get actually a bit more than that from payment plans. Masterclass sales. All of this would be extra income on top of that 6 figures that you've already made. And actually, when you do break it down like that, it is quite simple. That's only at the cheapest RRP to create 6 figures revenue with this. And again, I'm going to give you a 12-month strategy. I'm going to give you different ways that you can do this. Now let's look at creating 6 figures from one of the courses. I would never go, this is a 7-month deeply transformational academy. 1,800 is a intro price. I would recommend that's your intro launch price because of the results this gets for entrepreneurs, right? Even if it's a money program for non-entrepreneurs, or it could be for relationships or whatever the niche is, the results are so profound. There is something that happened, it's called the pricing phenomenon, and we go through this actually in prosperity pricing. And you need to work through all these workshops, everyone actually, to actually really value yourself and the work that you're putting out there as well. Ishbel, I just realized you sneaked on this masterclass. I told Ishbel not to come on this masterclass because she'd want to buy the business in a box. And she sneaked in last minute. You were so blooming right. Yeah. So makes it real. Yeah, so do I. So yeah, I would really say that's your intro price, your launch, your first ever launch. And that encourages more people to join the first round that you launch this as well, because people love to think that they're getting a bargain as well, right? So it's owning the value of it, and that, really it's priceless transformation in so many areas of their lives. It's really worth that at a minimum. I know people who would easily charge 5 figures for this academy in their own businesses. So if you wanted to just take one of the courses, and I recommend Wealth and With Mastery because I was just talking about it earlier anyway, and I have sold this one individually a lot more than the others, and I'll explain why I did that as well in terms of strategy. So there's a webinar that goes alongside this called Unlocking Effortless Wealth. It's a free webinar, a free launch webinar, and we will include that too for people if you want to do this pathway. And the 6-week Wealth and With Mastery course. So you could have 100 sales per year at the early bird. Again, this is obviously a much lower ticket price compared to the full academy, but 1111 is the early bird price on this, and that is the equivalent of 2 sales per week. When you really break it down to what the numbers actually are, that would give you £111,000. That's 6-figure revenue stream. Or if you had a VIP level and a course level, course only and VIP, you could have 60 courses at 1111 and 22 VIPs, which will give you a 6-figure revenue. Obviously, you need more sales if you're only selling a smaller, lower ticket course, right? But that's the equivalent of 7 sales a month. When you think of it in that way, it's not really a huge amount. If you only wanted to do this, because your ecosystem would all lead people to this, right? Now, taking this again, taking these assets and getting creative with it. You could create another 6 figures from that one course. You could turn the Wealth and Worth course into a 6-week VIP one-to-one package. This is different to a course VIP. When people buy VIP level with a course, they get the course and they get maybe one VIP session with you. Okay? If yeah, that's a good question. If the intro price for the whole academy is 1,800, what would you price the individual Wealth and Worth Mastery at? No, it wouldn't be 450, right? Because an individual course needs to be priced slightly higher than if you were to have the academy. Because really they're getting a deal for having the full academy compared to the individual course. Do you see what I mean? So I would say more like 777 might be your early bid, and 1111 might be your full price. Again, your individual niche course pricing and would depend on your ultimate up-level academy pricing, but it's not the equivalent of buying them all individually. So the UUA price is not the equivalent of buying them all individually. You get a deal for getting the big bundle, the full thing. So really, there's actually 5,555 worth of courses, just the niche courses at early bird price in the academy. So when you look at it like that and you're going to sell it for 1,800, that's a really low price. That's like almost like too good a deal. So you need to like really think about that too. You don't want it to, the pricing phenomenon is when people think it's not actually worth anything because you've priced it too low. And they just look and think, oh, well, that can't be very good because she's not charging much for it. Right? And you don't want people to have that belief. So you could take it and turn it into a full 6-week one-to-one delivery with a client. We call it the Wealthy and Worthy Woman VIP experience. And you could charge 3,333 for that. You could bring in three clients every 6 weeks. That's an extra 80 grand in pounds. You could run a retreat based on the same content too. The Wealthy and Worthy Woman Retreat. This is literally just an example I made up for this. But I'm just trying to show you how you can use and adapt these materials, not just for courses, but for one-to-one work, for retreats, for other things. You could run a Wealthy and Worthy Woman Retreat. 12 people, 2 each. That's another 26,500 pounds. You have then got a multi-6-figure business just from that. You can create multi-6 figures in a year just from that one asset and getting creative with it. Just that one asset that's included in this business in a box. Can you see now why I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? This is the craziest thing I've ever done. This is literally years and years and years of work that I've done for you. Years of work. But equally, it's, I'm ready to let go of this now. I'm ready for other people to take this and do more with it and impact more people with it. So if you don't feel ready to run and launch the full academy straight away, I would advise easing your way in, right? You can start with one of the niche courses. And then when everyone's like, wow, this has blown my mind, this is the best program I've ever done, you then say, well, would you like to join the full academy, right? And then they will upsell into your full academy. So you can start that way. And that's very much what I did with my new bodybook. I just launched one of the programs. It was phenomenal. It was really powerful, blew people away. And then I launched the full experience. It's a year-long experience, right? So this is very much a way that you can ease your way into this. You don't have to launch a big 7-month academy straight away. We would build up to that. Equally, some of you might be ready to go straight into the full academy. It really depends where people are in their businesses, whether they've launched programs before, all of these different things that will come into it. So this is how I would approach it to create a 7-figure a year revenue through this academy. And this is just through Academy, not through any other services, just through the UUA ecosystem. And you're going to have other revenue streams, okay? You're going to have your one-to-one revenue stream. You're going to have the passive masterclass revenue stream as well. Emma Jane, yeah, retreats are definitely going to be part of my offering. Good. And you could just, yeah, God, there's so much there that you could do. You could do intuition retreats with the innovation and intuition and stuff. There's just so much you can do. Seriously mind blown. Yes, so much to take in, so many options and possible pathways for an expansion growth. Yes. That's what I mean. It's a lot, but you are not. I've sold a course in a box before, right? A 6-week course that I did all this for. I sold it to people. They had their first ever 5 and multi-5-figure launches. So upsold people into masterminds off the back of it too. It's created ongoing revenue for them. And this is just like the business in a box version, a much bigger version of the course in a box that I sold lots of years ago. And so I've done it before and I know it works. And they made triple their investment back in the first launch that they did with that course in a box, right? So this stuff doesn't just work for me, it works for other people too. So, okay, let me explain this one to you. And again, you don't have to do it this way. I just want to put things into perspective of what it could look like. You might want to launch it under a different name, a 10,000 a year, a £10,000 price, for all I know. It really depends on what you want it to do for you, how comfortable you are with charging higher ticket prices and all of the things, right? So the 7-figure launch strategy, to create 7 figures from your Ultimate Up Level Academy, you've got to go all in. You've got to go all in this being your one thing. And that makes it your queen asset, and all roads lead to your queen asset. This doesn't take away from your one-to-one work, by the way. The one-to-one packages I sell are heart healing, but because my therapeutic background is heart healing, the therapy I use in the subconscious elements of the Ultimate Up Level Academy is my therapy, heart healing. Before I developed heart healing, it was different, right? So your therapy that you use will depend on whatever you're trained in. But the subconscious element is one part of this overarching model that we're using to transform people. It's not the only part. So you're still talking about your own therapy, whatever you're trained in, that is included in this, that's helping people get the results. And that's how you still sell one-to-one. You just go into marketing yourself, your marketing will all be aimed at one-to-one. Then your marketing the next month, you might be all aimed at getting people into the academy. Then a month after that, you might do a downsell to one of the experiences. Some sort of passive income. Okay, so let's look at, this is the strategy that I was using before the Ultimate Up Level Academy didn't become my only thing anymore. So every 6 weeks I would launch. Launch just means sell, okay? Some people get really freaked out by the word launch. Every 6 weeks I would sell. And that might have been a webinar. Most of the time it was a webinar. Then I started branching out and being more brave and doing live experiences, much longer experiences. But you're going to get all of these to use yourself too. So you are bringing people in at the start of every new saboteur. So that is a trigger for people to come in, especially if the hustler is their highest saboteur on the quiz. People are going to come in at the start of different saboteurs. So it is a continuously running program. Every 6th week is a rest week for you and a rest week for your clients, integration week for your clients. You will launch. you get a rest from your calls in the program. You will launch that week. So you will run a masterclass that leads people to come into the Ultimate Up Level Academy. All of the timings around this, I'm going to put it into a strategy for you if you buy this, so you've got it all laid out for you. And you might alternate between launching the full academy, like a masterclass that launches the full academy, and a masterclass that just launches one of the programs, one of the niche programs. This is what I did just so that it wouldn't get a bit boring for my audience. So I'd run the Unlock Your Ultimate Up Level, and then I might have run Unlock an Effortless Wealth, because the next saboteur was going to be the hustler. Is this making sense? You don't have to do this many launches, by the way. I'm just giving you an example. You might not even do it this way at all. I'm just giving you, like, helping you visualize what this could look like. So every time you're selling the full academy, you will downsell afterwards. So anyone who really, really wanted to do it, but couldn't for whatever reason, or maybe they just don't trust you enough yet. They just don't know enough yet. You downsell whatever the module starting next is, the saboteur that's next. And what we saw a lot was if someone people will always say, I can't afford it, when really they just need to trust more. They haven't seen enough yet to fully make the decision to go all in. And so what we would see was we'd offer, oh, well, would you like to come in and just do the hustler experience? And it's this price. And if you like it, and, which I'm sure you will, there's an option to join the full academy later. So it's like a smaller step in people's mind than that big investment in the big full thing. And we saw very easily that it was a high conversion rate. As soon as people come in and try the magic, they want to go into the full academy. So you've got these different pathways of sales. People coming into the full academy straight away. And then you can offer them downsells. And this is where your individual niche courses come in handy. Then people will upsell from those. Sorry if this is confusing. This is obviously a 7-figure a year strategy, okay? And then you can sell just individual modules. You can just launch an individual module and then upsell people into the full academy. So there's different pathways for people to come in and for you to make money. So we'll go into the strategy in a lot more detail in the actual IP transfer, the business in the box. But it really works. So adding in downsells and, the timings of the paid masterclasses and everything too. So I'm giving you the strategy for when this was my main thing, when this was a 7-figure a year generator for me. It's not anymore because it's not my main thing in my business. My money is split between my different main things, right? So what could this look like? 250 full UUA sales. You can automate a lot of this. You can automate the way a lot of this happens. But yes, if you've got a 7-figure business, you're not going to be the only one running that. You're going to need an assistant and a couple of people on your virtual team to support that. So 250 sales of this at 3333, that's £833,000. This is insane. And again, this is not like you need 100,000 people in your audience to make this happen. You could sell 151 niche courses. This is across a whole year, by the way, and make another 167,000. That's 1 million. Just from the UUA ecosystem. That doesn't include your masterclasses. But if you imagine a combination of those upsells and downsells that are going to be continuously happening through the year, each time you launch, every 6 weeks, your income starts to go up. The money you start every month with, when you start launching programs, will go up and up and up. Right? There was one point that I was starting my month with 6 figures already in the bank because of the compounding launches, the compounding income. from launching courses with payment plans. Not everyone will want to do it this way. You might want to launch every 3 months. So still going to give you this compound effect of income. How would it feel if you even started each month with £10,000 already made in sales before you ever made another sale? 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. It starts to compound and build up over time. I've just, for some reason, I've just got this way of making business simple. I didn't learn this strategy from anyone. I learned from doing it. I did it. I experienced it. I'm more of a mentor, I guess, in that respect because I teach what I've done. It was still dark here when this masterclass started, and now the sun has risen. It doesn't get any more metaphorical than that. Together we rise. Oh, I love that. So this was really how I grew my business to $1 million years and multi-million dollar years. But if you really want a 7-figure business, you decide, even a 6, right? You decide you're going all in. So I really want to, I know you're only on this call because you're interested in this opportunity. And, hopefully I've taught you lots as well, whether you are able to come into this opportunity or not, taught you a bit about creating or what you need to do to create this in your own life and in your own business. And I just really want you to think about and share in the comments if you feel open to how would having this as a base to build on change your life? How did it change the lives of your loved ones? And how to change your clients' lives? I really want the results that you've seen for you and for your clients, for whoever you are going to reach and touch with this work. And the great thing is you will have what you need to energetically and strategically make this a success. You'll have access to all you need to get out of your own way, healing your own success saboteurs, and all of the strategic groundwork for you to build upon. Imagine every dream come true, true safety, true abundance. Let's have the most meaningful and beautiful impact. I wouldn't tell my children until I could transfer large sums into each of their accounts and give them a heart attack in a good way. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so of course, this is an investment, right? And it really is an investment. A big part of my mission, my purpose is to impact millions. And I remember I said, when I was in Necker Island with Richard Branson, I was on a mastermind. I remember saying that I really want to create things that other people can sell. I want to create things that other people can impact people with because I love to create. I have a gift for creating transformational programs. And I know not everyone has the time or the energy or the expertise to necessarily do that themselves. And as I said earlier, I really see it as a form of art, right? So I love to create new things. I'll always be creating new things. But then I've got all these amazing good things that also need to be stewarded and nourished in the world, not necessarily by me, okay? But they can continue to impact more people through other people. And so my newer body of work, it's taken me a long time to really know and trust and go all in on that being my next thing that all the things need to lead to for 2026. And I can't just leave all this work on my computer drive, not doing anything, not helping anyone. I think genuinely that would be selfish of me if I'm not using it, right? So I, in my notes, I think there's a travesty to humanity. That's what that I guide. That was my guidance as I was writing, because I actually channel through writing, channel through creating. And I just hear this a travesty to humanity. And I agree. This work has its own soul and it needs to live on in the world. So will you become one of the 111? I was told very clearly that only 111 people are to have this. It's almost like a sacred closing, really, to me, really passing on this torch to other people. That's why this is my last round of the Ultimate Uplevel Academy. I'm never going to be selling it again. It is only this 111 people now that will be selling it in their own way. And, combining my magic with theirs to create something even better than what has ever been with me. And everyone will do it in their own unique way. Too many women in the world need this work, including you. So we have already sold 10% of the spaces. Another 10% people are in various stages of getting the investment together and haven't paid yet. I don't know how long those spaces will be available. I genuinely don't, but there's been a lot of interest. We've had over 100 inquiries about this, and I expect there'll be a lot more coming after this masterclass. So I want you to continue the legacy. If this feels like it could be something that can help you, that can help your clients, that you can really see the value in this and how you can, as I say, really co-create, take this and use it as something to build upon, to really impact more people and create your thing that you want to get out there. I've lost count of the thousands of hours I feel have gone into creating all of this. It really is a multi-million pound business in a box, right? It's proven. Now, I have 3 bodies of work. And this was the first body of work. And my message is getting diluted because I'm trying to hold on to it all. So my solution is to give this to others, to sell this to others so that they can continue this legacy. There's over 20 years of experience, my own qualifications and experience in psychology, in social work as a business owner, but also working with thousands of women entrepreneurs that have gone into this too, making this signature body work incredibly powerful. And I think I mentioned this earlier, but if I was to just sell this intellectual property to one person, they would have to pay me 7 figures for this. But instead, I've decided to sell it to 111 people so that it impacts more people. You're going to get all of it, right? The groundbreaking Success Saboteur Archetypes IP and the online assessment. 4 free lead magnets to build your audience and give instant transformation and insights so people are desperate to work with you after experiencing them. The 4 paid masterclasses, low cost, high value masterclasses to generate passive income and blow people away so much that they want to jump into your higher priced offers. 5 niche courses, 1 for each of the 5 success saboteurs. You can use and adapt to a whole different series of offers in your business. It doesn't just have to be delivered in an online course format. You can do anything with that. And then you've got the ownership, I'm sorry, not ownership, the license for the full academy, and the strategy to run and deliver that academy. Emma, it was an honor to take this work forward. Yeah, the UUA was a life changer, so it's been a no-brainer. Oh, thank you. Yes, it was a no-brainer for me too. Yes. So Emma Jane was like, oh, like dates. We'll give you some dates as well. Because some people, as I say, they've jumped in already. Um, and Emma Jane, you probably realize now how much this actually is in terms of we have to prepare it all to hand over to these 111 special women who are going to continue this legacy. You also get a 12-month implementation plan for exactly how you can create a wildly successful business from this intellectual property, and a workshop on how to deliver the program, how to hold space for the clients. All associated trademarks that we've mentioned in this masterclass, you will get a lifetime license to use those. I am the official owner of those trademarks. Nobody will ever know that. You don't have to mention me every time you use one of those trademarks, right? But if you want to use them, you can. It's part of your license. You will have freedom to white label the courses. White label means you put your own names, your own branding, and you might put lots of new things in there. And you might just mix and match and take little bits of what I've done that you like and replace it with other bits that you want to put in there, right? So it completely becomes your own brand identity, right? Nobody ever needs to know that I wrote it. All tech guidelines will be provided by someone in my team who is good with tech, not with me, because I'm not very good at tech. And where we have sales page copy or masterclasses, we will provide those. Okay, so the investment is 11,111. Again, all of this was spiritually guided. 111 women for 11,111. And it's a one-off fee, so there won't be any other ongoing costs. Again, even though strategically people would say pay a yearly license, etc., but that's not what the spiritual guidance was. It's a one-off fee. I'm passing this on to you to have the freedom to do what you want with it. So it's almost like a franchise, but with more freedom than a franchise. That's kind of how I'm viewing this. And we do have limited private payment plan options as well. This is available by request. So if you're thinking, I really want this is definitely something that I feel I want to do, just pop us an email. The team support@natashabray.co.uk, or message me on social media. You can always get a hold of me there if you need send a few little voice notes back and forth just to make sure it's right for you. Feel free to do that as well. As I said, we do have a bonus for the first 20 where we set up all of the tech around the Saboteur Archetype quiz, all of the landing pages connected to your email system, etc., sorting out all the emails and the email funnel. So that is included as a bonus for the first 20. We've already filled over half of those spaces. There is an information page that Carmen will post now in the comments. Have a good read through that. And the link to sign up, if you're like, yep, I'm all in, the link to sign up is on the bottom of that page. If you have any more questions, let me know, and we can have a little conversation separately. And obviously, this is a huge amount of intellectual property that we are handing over. And so upon the release of that intellectual property, the product is considered delivered and there are no refunds available. All right. Again, if you sign up before the end of this month, you'll have enough time to come and join in my final live round of the Ultimate Up-Level Academy. Anyone who purchases before the end of October, just because you need 7 months to go through the work, and it is closing on my birthday, the 31st of May. It's really interesting because this, in numerology, if you're into numerology, this year is a 9-year for me, which is all about endings. So this was not actually, this wasn't planned. It's a complete coincidence that at the end of my 9-year, before I move into a new year, this program will end on that day. So we'd love to have you in our final round. as I say, the delivery is different to what I'm going to teach you because this is an evergreen version. And I wouldn't recommend an evergreen version initially. You might move into an evergreen model later on, but remember, I've already been running it for years, and that's why I turned it into an evergreen version. So I recommend the launch version, open and close launch version for you. That is worth recharge 3333 for that. If you're watching this and you're like, I don't want a business in a box, but I really want to come into the Ultimate Uplevel Academy, you've got until the end of this month to join us, message us, and I'm sure we can give you a special deal to join the last cohort. So if you are thinking, yeah, I'm not ready for the business in the box, but I really, really want to benefit from the Ultimate Uplevel Academy in this our last cohort, then drop me a message too. The 12 months help with this are these live calls. There isn't 12 months help, so I'm not sure what you mean. Can you just expand what you mean there? So this is because it's a one-off fee, all of the help that you get is already included in the handover, right? It's a 12-month strategy, yes. So you get the strategy, the 12-month strategy, how I'd recommend that you move forward. Obviously it's already an incredible price for everything that you're receiving. And so we can't really offer ongoing support unless people want to pay extra for that ongoing support. But if you're one of the first 20, you'll get all of the tech setup done. And we're always here to answer questions. If you have some questions about things, or our inbox is always open for that. And if questions are coming through, we'll create like a Q&A, we'll answer on videos, we'll add those videos in, etc., so that everyone has got that useful knowledge then that can help everyone who's purchased. Okay, some important considerations, right? Although, and this is important for transparency, although I've done most of the hard work for you, businesses still take time to build. So your results will vary depending on where you are at right now personally and in your own businesses, right? There's going to be people at all different stages of business who might be deciding to buy this and implement this. But the personally piece is important. Remember, we want to energetically be the embodiment of what we're teaching as well. So that's why it's really important that you're doing the healing too. You will still need to put time and energy into building your audience, marketing your offers, and adapting the work to your business. Remember what I said, you're going to input your own stories. Where you see red text, you're going to have to take and tweak those bits. You might want to add in some of your own stuff to make it feel more like you, unique to you. So you're going to need a bit of time to do that. You are responsible for your results, and your results will vary, but I can guarantee that even just using one portion of this investment for yourself and your business will completely change your life and your business. So last year, I rebranded the Ultimate Uplevel Academy to fit with my newer direction. So in the current version, there are some of my rebrand concepts, rebranded graphics, trademarks, that are heart healing trademarks, receiving runes, and those trademarks are not part of this, okay? They're not a part of this sale. They weren't actually originally part of the Ultimate Uplevel Academy anyway, so they will not affect the product or the results. You need a subconscious therapy. This came up earlier. You need a subconscious therapy or a hypnotherapy certification or qualification to deliver the subconscious element of the program. If you don't have one, you can ask me and my team about our combined certification and Archetypes Business in a Box combined deal. We've already had somebody ask about that and sign up to that, so we thought that we'd make that more publicly available to anyone else who's wanting to do that too. So again, support@natashabray.co.uk, or just pop me a message on social media and we can have a little chat about whether this is right for you. So just a reminder, £11,111 is a one-off fee. There are some payment plan options available. Let's discuss whether that's right for you. Drop us a message. And head to the document link that is in the comment section of this video if you're watching this on replay. And Carmen is sharing it in the comments again now, just to have a read through. If you're anything like me, I like to read through something before I sign up. And just another reminder that once the intellectual property is released, it's considered delivered, and there's no refunds available on a transfer of all of this intellectual property. So just let you know, we're going to work out a 3-phase release. So we release the lead magnets first, and they might just be like up to a week between each release, okay? The lead magnets first. The first release is next week. So the lead magnets are released first, then the niche courses, and then all of the other things around it, like the guidelines, the instructions, the tech, everything like that. So there's a 3-phase release across 2 to 3 weeks. Any questions? And just to add as well, because I know there's a lot of people that are just waiting to pay right now, your bonus is only secured upon payment of either the full price or the first installment. We can't guarantee bonus unless we've received some sort of payment towards it. Whew, I feel like we've gone through a lot there. Okay. Any questions? I know I've answered a lot of them as we've been going through anyway. Thank you for being here, spending your time, finding out more about this today. Feel like this is a monumental moment. And, you know, if anything comes up separately that you feel that you'd prefer to ask me direct, please do. Happy to answer any questions you might have, to talk to you about whether this is right for you. It is a big investment, but it is, I truly, truly believe it will be a life and business changing investment for you. Emma Jane, yeah, I can get even more excited now. I have time to settle and prepare and consider initial strategy. You're welcome. You're welcome. Well done, Natasha. It's a huge thing you're doing. Ishbel, yeah. You know, I'm not a stranger to licensing things. I've licensed smaller things before. I have a whole certification where I license a subconscious modality. But this is next level. This is next level. And, you know, I'm excited. I like to innovate. I like to be the one that does things differently. And this is definitely doing something differently. So reach out to me, email questions to support@natashabray.co.uk. And let's start having conversations about this. And I look forward to you being one of the 111. Just before we finish, I thought I'd get asked a question on tech, so I've just added a little bit on. Try Interact for $27 a month. Most of these things you should already have as part of your business, but if you're serious about creating passive and semi-passive income streams, you will need those anyway. Course platform to host, or you can use YouTube and Facebook groups to host. Zoom to record your workshops, a payment service provider, Google Docs and Google Presentations, and an email marketing provider. Okay, right. That brings us to the end. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to speaking to lots of you about taking the next step. Bye for now.